Buenos dias. Good morning. Welcome to another exciting day action as you're watching Jody Nelson's drone as we take you to the long distance race for the men, for the prone, and the SUP at the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. My name is Bo Hodge along with world champion gold medalist Jamie Mitchell. And Jamie, we're going to offer this view, and this is the finish line area where we're at. We're in the staging area. We're behind those bleachers, and those bleachers are for the competitors only, and that's where the chicane is for the finishers to finish up.
Yeah, good morning, Bo, and what a great day racing it's going to be, and yeah, a beautiful overview from the drone, and hopefully we can have the drone out there and get some killer shots as the athletes coming through. But yeah, the wind is up. The heat is here again, and we're in for a tough race again today.
Yeah, let's recap what happened yesterday. We had the SUP women long distance and the women's prone long distance, and what an exciting race. And it all began with the ladies' SUP race, and it was fantastic with the three girls going out into the lead, setting the pace hard and strong. Lena, Shakira, and Laura from Spain.
Yeah, and like I said yesterday and a couple of days before, Spain has been the real surprise for me. And they've obviously gone home from last year's Miraflores Peru titles and worked really hard, done some good training and had some good coaching. So, but yeah, look, it was the Shakira and Lena show, and and Lena at the end just put the hammer down and showed that why she is truly one of the best women paddlers in the world right now.
Yeah, Lena Agaitis from Canada winning the SUP long distance in the time of 1 hour, 58 minutes, 24 seconds in the long distance 18K race. As you can see, the top four there is the medalers, Shakira Westorp coming in 2 hours, 20 seconds. Barbara Brazil had to come back from the pack, her and Shea Fody taking third and fourth respectively, passing our Spaniard, and what a performance they had.
Yeah, amazing performance, and I just heard that Shea Fody was actually on an IV drip last night from severe dehydration, and she definitely looked like she put it all on the line, and I was speaking to team coach Jimmy Terrell, and he was super proud of her effort.
Yeah, 15-year-old. She is amazing. Let's take a recap of yesterday's long-distance race. We've got both the prone and the SUP women on their course, and this is a great piece. We'll be right back right after this.
Okay, what a day. This is Friday. Nicaragua, Lake Nicaragua, an amazing day, sun, hot, and we just finished the competition of the long distance paddle, stand-up paddle racing and prone racing for ladies. Very, very intense, 18 kilometers. 18 kilometers walking sounds like a lot, no? Well, imagine 18 kilometers paddling with all you can under 35-degree sun. That has been today the journey. Big praising for the ladies for putting an incredible fight. They went through the other bay, through all these incredible nice islets that you've seen in the webcast, and you've seen some of the images in these highlights. But of course, the final race is 1 kilometer against the wind to the finishing line. Amazing effort. Congratulations to all the ladies.
This race had a little bit of everything. It had some flat water, some headwind, some really hard side shock, a really nice downwind, and the scenery was beautiful with the islands, and the monkeys came out and cheered us on. And for a distance race, it's the kind I like. I like point to point where it's a little bit of an adventure and you don't know what's coming up next. So I thought it was a really great course.
Preparation, a lot of hard training, but when it comes to race day, all of the hard work is done and really it becomes a mental game. So staying positive, making the right decisions and racing smart is often better than racing hard.
Alegre, siento bien porque estoy representando a Nicaragua, con mucho orgullo.
Tomorrow is the guys, long distance race, 18 kilometers. The best SUP racers, the best pro racers in the world are gonna be here in Lake Nicaragua. Don't go, and if you go, I'm sorry, but you can still watch it today. Stay with us.
Celebrating 50 years of surfing with the International Surfing Association. Good morning. I'm Bo Hodge along with world champion Jamie Mitchell. And Jamie, here are how the prone ladies went. And Jordan Mercer, no surprise, 3 years in a row. In fact, an excellent time of 1 hour, 59 minutes, 16 seconds. United States Carter Craves giving her the run for the money. Carter actually had the lead in the islands and then pushed Jordan on the downwind run to overtake the lead at 2:02:20. Itzar Rivero from Spain takes a beautiful medal there with the bronze, and Ashley Cochran from New Zealand takes a medal at 2:17:19. And setting up for the men today, both prone and SUP, it's going to be very exciting. And your prediction?
Prediction, the SUP will be a big pack. I think is going to form at the start here, as we see some vision on the screen here from about. Looks like they're getting ready to start. But the headwind, I got a feeling that's going to break it up a touch. People are going to try and surge this first leg into the headwind. If it was a lot flatter, you would have seen a bigger group. But as we look at the men's SUP distance race lineup right here on the screen.
Yeah, we've got a whole field here. We've had one pull out from our Danish SUP rider, Oliver Hartkop. He's sick today, so 34 men in the SUP division. And for our prone division, we have a total of 26 paddlers. So an array of paddlers out here for both SUP. I mean, France, Mexico, USA, and, of course, Australia, the defending champion. Yeah,
I just look at a couple of names that stand out there. Casper Steinfarth, Chuck Glenn, Dylan Frick, Ethan Koopmans, Eric Terrain, Fernando Stala. You got the two Australian kids, Slater Trout, Lincoln Jews, Javier Jimenez from Mexico. So it's just Ollie Schiltzen. Although he's been sick from the UK, he's been winning all the races over there. So we have a great field, and this is going to be one hell of a race.
And we can't forget about our prone. There's the last of our SUP men. And don't forget about the Frenchmen, Titian Puyol and Toby Cracklin, Bellard Diaz, and the Brazilian, too, Martins.
Yeah, it's really just, whoever has the best day today. And I think whoever, has prepared the best in this heat and hydrated and ate well. So I can't wait to watch this race unfold.
And the prone race, there's going to be battles within the battles here for the guys here for their 18K race.
Yeah, definitely. Look, to be honest, I really think it's going to be a battle between the two Australians and Shane Scoggins from the US of A. They're the three standouts. So look for those three to, force, the pace at the start.
See Antoine Del Perro, he's pulling double duty not only in the tech. And we're underway, Jamie, with our first SUP paddlers getting off, and for these 34 guys. And there's the last round of names for. And you see Shane Scoggins, Reese Burrows. They're going to be up in the start of this race.
Yeah, and that's looks like Slater Trout there in the white, if I'm correct. Looks like his technique, and Eric Terrain right next to him. So hard to tell. I'm just going on techniques here from what I've seen when I'm racing, but. It looks like Eric in the in the dark blue with the black tights. Looks like Slater in the white top to the left. Fernando Stala off to the right with the choke down stroke. And right now that's the screen that we're seeing is a little bit hazy. So we're going to do the best we can, but looks like a nice fair start. The packs pretty close together, and we'll see more when we get the side view will give us a better angle at where everyone is. But
So, Jamie, did you get a chance to talk to Shakira and Lena and the other girls doing the race yesterday? What was the feedback on the course?
Oh, they loved it. They said that they did get a chance to check out the scenery and everything, but really tough. They said the brutal upwind leg at the end was one of the toughest things they've done. So, we're looking at an upwind start right now, and then they go take a left-hand turn into the more of a flood of water. I paddled there last night in through Monkey Island, but I tell you what, there are some sections through there with the wind that there are some swells. You can actually catch some swells and you can break away. So this is a very interesting race. Look, Fernando Stala has put the hammer down. He's in first place right now. The Viking Casper Steinfarth is in second. Chuck Glynn looks like that's him there on the lead board. He's in third place from the US of A. And Slater Trout, his teammate, looks like in fourth. Eric Terrain in fifth. And as the camera angle pulls back, it's hard to tell, but that's the top five right now as it stands.
So you're the defending gold medalist in this distance race for the past 2 years. The start is so important because when you're in that lead group and when you're in 15th to catch that lead group, it is so hard to make up that ground.
Yeah, what's important is that you can have 15 really good paddlers and you can be on the train, but when you think about it, if you're the boards are 12 feet long and you're 15 board lengths back, that's close to 175 feet that you're actually away from the front. So you're still 170 feet from the front. And if someone in the pack here, say number 5 or 6 paddler here drops off the pace, you're in big trouble because you've got to make up all that ground. So for me, I would never want to be any more than 5 deep back. Even if that meant doing a bit more work at the front, I definitely would want to be in that top 3, 4 to 5 paddlers and make sure that I was never too far away from the front in case someone tries to make a move.
So you treat the beginning of the race almost like the end, a full-on sprint.
You have to. The start is so important. You can ruin a whole race from the start. And, as we see Fernando, showing that burst of speed we saw in the technical race 2 days ago. Looks like Casper in his I'm pretty sure that's Casper in his on the Nash board with his very defined shorts that he wears all the time. That's Chuck Glenn. I can tell his stroke. That could be T2 as we scroll back through the through the pack, and we see Bellar, and just really hard to see right now. But a big pack forming. But like I said, if anyone drops off the pace, then they're going to be in a bit of trouble.
Conditions today, we're still seeing the same wind conditions, and actually maybe even windier today.
Yeah, I was out for a paddle just before, and definitely feels like a touch windier. But it makes it. These guys love a bit of texture on the water. They love a bit of wind. And I think that it's going to be very hard, to break away. So honestly, I see more of a breakaway chance nearly through the islands with what I saw last night when I was paddling through there. There are these little rolling swells from the wind that are coming through. It's very flat and calm, but these little swells come through near the islands. They pick up the shallow water, and you can actually really get onto a few and make up or gap the distance.
And you can see the white capping there on the shoreline here. Let's talk about the race course. So the start of the race, so they're about, coming up to that first flag on one of those early islands right now.
Yeah, definitely. They're heading straight out into the wind now, and they're going to head past, to the breadcrumb, that first flag. They're going to keep that buoy one on the left shoulder. For me, what I see is once they get in between buoy 2 and then to buoy 3, right through that section of islands there, with the way that the wind's blowing, is that's where they're going to be able to get these little swells through the islands. So there could be a very strong chance that someone tries to make a move there. But someone like a Eric Terrian or T2 from France, strong paddlers in the flat water. But it's just right now everyone's just feeling them out. But it is a fast pace. Fernando's still grinding on the front. And, it looks like Casper doing it nice and easy in second place there. And Chuck Glenn from the US of A in third place. So Fernando pulling the pack right now from Mexico. Mexico in front. And, he's doing it, 20-30% harder than anyone else right now.
Well, Fernando coming off a fantastic showing at the Battle of the Paddle down in Brazil, winning the technical and the long distance, so performing well, and recently competing with you over the Carolina Cup currently.
Yeah. Chuck Glenn would have finished in the top 10 in that race in a stacked field. I saw him, making surges in that race, and he just looks strong. I've seen him at a bunch of races. I've seen some results, and him and Slater have been going head to head in a few races in the mainland. So, Jimmy Terrell sent me a text last night, and his pick for today, he thought that Chuck Glenn was looking really well. So, we'll see what happens. But as we can see, a group of about 15 people here, but realistically, you don't want to be any further than 5 or 6 back. This is a nice big draft train we're seeing right now.
Well, we're underway, just minutes underway of this 18K race, roughly about 10, 11 miles. In comparison, we saw Lena yesterday coming in at an unofficial time of 1 hour, 58 minutes. So guessing the time of the men will be under that. Our top group could be even an hour and a half, but should be around that hour 40 time zone. We'd like to thank all of our online media publishers in delivering live webcasts, of course, at isawsuppc.com. Send out shouts to supracer.com in Australia, Stand Up Latino in Chile, Surfers Village in Europe, the Intra in the United States, SUP the Mag in the United States, Waves in Brazil, Zigzag in South Africa, Surfos in Costa Rica. We've got SUP boardridermag.com, SUP Stand Up Magazine, also SUP Journal and surfingbj.com, and all those broadcasting live in Hawaii on Time Warner Oceanic Cable, live on the Surf Channel at 250 and HD at 1250. We say aloha to Dean Luke and the company, waking up very early for this broadcast. On tape delay this weekend in Los Angeles, the Desert City, San Diego, Time Warner Sportsnet. Check your local listings. We say hello, and to everybody that is watching the broadcast and the webcast wherever you may be from around the world, and get in tune with us via the Twitter handles, Instagram, and also social media, and we'll try to be reading out some of these shouts out that you're communicating, and we're going to try to get the boat after the leaders to get to some of the other leaders in the back of the pack. But right now, primarily, we want to see how the front runners are doing right now. And we have Fernando Stolla from Mexico in the lead.
Yeah, I just got Chris Parker from supracer.com's on the boat. He just sent me the latest here. He said that Fernando's taken out really hard. Casper and Chuck and T2 from France is parallel but side by side, and he's dragging up Eric. Eric fell. Eric's reign fell and dropped back. But then after those guys, there was Toby, Chuck, T2 all near the front. So right now I think it's Fernando, Casper, Chuck, T2, Slater, Lincoln, and then it was Toby, Javier, and Dylan as well. So all the big names, Vinny from Brazil as well. He's up there as well. So all the big names right up the front. So no big surprises right now. Everyone's just jockeying for position.
Yeah, you can see the alphabetical listing here. This is not how they're running. This is alphabetical, and there's page 1. We're going to scroll to page number 2. These are all the men in the SUP category, and still great setup here in Nicaragua. We'd like to thank Lucy Vicente from the Ministry of Tourism for what a fantastic setup here at the staging area, the finish line area. You can see page number 2, and we've got even more names in the SUP distance race here. A total of 34 competitors competing for the SUP, and on a 5-minute delay after that, the men's prone division with a total of 26 competitors competing in the men's prone. So there's the final listings of names there for the men. and competing in the SUP distance, the 18K, the 18K, the 10 miler, and some great water cam. We were on a 30-second delay on the video from the boat, so it's a little grainy, the technology here, but it's better than nothing. This time last year down in Miraflores, Jamie, you were in the midst of the fog monster, as we called it, and it was creating a little bit of chaos and confusion for you guys in the water.
Yep, yeah. Last year was definitely an interesting race, but we all pushed through the fog, and then we found out that we basically had to take a sharp right-hand turn, head to the beach, and with those waves at the end, it made for an interesting race. We all fell over and rolled and got to the beach and basically crawled up the beach to the finish line.
But here we have 6 main buoys that we've showed you on our map earlier, but there's also flags and, as you called them, breadcrumbs to lead them in and out through the islands. Yeah,
that's right. And I paddled over a fair bit of the course last night, and it's very self-explanatory out there. Not too hard to sort of find out where you're going. So, and a beautiful course. Go past Monkey Island, there's monkeys climbing around the trees trying to jump on your boards, and it's a pretty beautiful place. So, as we see there, it looked like, to me, it looks like France is trying to come up with T2 and Eric. It looks like they're maybe going to try and control this race from the front. But as we look at the tail end of the paddlers here and the stand-up, so they're punching their way out into the front. So it's going to be a long day. But the wind doesn't look too strong right now, right there. It's as we see someone on one of the Fanatic boards that the ISA has been able to hand out to the countries. So.
Well, Jamie, I had a chance yesterday to walk through the city after the women's long-distance race. I had a chance to run into Toby, Lincoln, Jackson, and also Reese. We were all having pizza down in Granada, and I was asking them, what are your thoughts heading in today? And all they could talk about was the performance from Shakira. They were saying, we didn't expect her to be even doing this portion, and they were just amazed at what she did. And let's take a look at Google Earth of the course of this race, Jamie, and talk us away from start to finish.
Yeah, as you see, we're right here in Lake Nicaragua in Granada, but you can see the finish here. We're just going to scroll across to the right to the start line as we see a nice big overview. As you can see, lots of little islands and scattered all around this race course. But as you see the start there, what they're doing now, they're heading straight into a headwind. They're just following the flags up until buoy 1. They're going to keep that first buoy on their left shoulder, and then they're going to follow that back out into that nice little gap there, and then they're going to make a left-hand turn, and they're going to start to go through these all these little islands and follow like we said, the breadcrumbs again to buoy number 2. They're going to keep that on their left shoulder, and then they're going to start to zigzag through all these islands. And this is where I said that, through these islands here, with the wind the way it's coming in, there's actually swells starting to roll through there. So right where you see now, there are little swells there. There's chance to actually get runners and actually get a rest and really accelerate. So, they're going to hit buoy 3 again and keep that left shoulder and then zigzag again through all these islands. You're going to go past Monkey Island in there. I think there's a aid station, drink station through there as well. And once they come out, again, they're going to keep buoy number 4 on their left shoulder. And then I think this is where you're going to see, like we saw yesterday, this is the only little bit of true downwind that they have. And then they want to separate themselves, and then they've got a brutal upwind leg right to the finish where they're going to right-hand shoulder that turn and into the finish line.
Unbelievable course yesterday. The women up top were just fantastic. I was very impressed by them. Even Lena, who is a flat water specialist, proved her world championship win yesterday.
Lena was phenomenal. At some stage there, I thought, wow, if Shaq is looking pretty good in the downwind, but it just proved that she'd done the hard work, Lena, and she was super strong and pulled away from Shakira and then just consolidated in that last upwind leg. She's finished as strong as she started. So as we look at the current standings on the screen there, Bo.
Yeah, Fernando Stalla from Mexico with an early lead. He went out strong. We've been known to see Fernando with bad starts, and I think today he's going to correct that, and sure enough, he has. Casper Steinfath, the silver medalist from last year to you, and the gold medalist in the technical race. Of course, we're going to see him defend that gold medal tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be another exciting day. We'll talk about that later. But Team USA, 3rd and 4th, and they're on a mission here to stack not only a full team, but stack a team, and this is their chance to catch Australia for the team standings.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is a team race, so this is, we're going to see hopefully some semi Tour de France type tactics here. Team Australia, 2 really good paddlers. Team USA, 2 really solid paddlers. Team France, 2 really good paddlers. So they're going to work together, and look, I think that France, to me, those 2 paddlers are, Eric loves to go out and grind. T2, I don't do too much about. From everything I've heard, a very good canoe paddler, OC1 paddler. So, those guys can grind it out. So, it wouldn't surprise me to see them try and break away from the pack and just go it alone by themselves. But it will be very, very hard to get away from the rest of the pack doing that. So, surprisingly, Fernando is still leading. Fernando, from what I've seen in a bunch of races, doesn't mind sort of being in the pack and drafting, but he's up the front, he's setting the pace, and good on Fernando. I think that he's like, hey, you know what? If I'm going out, I'm going down swinging. So as we look at a beautiful backdrop there.
Yeah, this is actually one of the active volcanoes here in Nicaragua. You're seeing. Yeah,
wow. I didn't know that, but. Maybe that was part of the earthquake we had last night that we didn't even I didn't feel either. Yeah, there was around a 5-scale earthquake locally here in Nicaragua, and adding to the culture and the atmosphere, as we're seeing some of the paddlers in the rear of the pack, and we're going to try to keep you updated with those paddlers too, as we have a total of 26 men in the prone division and 34 men in the SUP division. And I think, I think that's Pedro from Guatemala that's on the screen here. He's currently in the last spot, but he's not going to give up. He's going to grind it all the way through, and good on him for being out there. And I think he has only been paddling for a few months. Yeah, you mentioned Eric Terrien, one of France's and Europeans' best SUP paddlers in 2012. He was a bronze medalist last year, coming in 6th place, so he'll be heading out the pack. Of course, yourself, Jamie, the 2-time gold medal champion at this event down in Miraflores. Last year we saw the top 4, as stated, Jamie Mitchell first, Casper Steinfath second, Fernando Stalla taking a bronze medal, Paul Jackson from New Zealand in 4th, and Paul is not here. Kelly Margette's your teammate, also not making the trip. He was 5th place last year. Yeah. No, there's a few people haven't come, but God, the field this year is great. And just as we have a little update here, looks like there's a lead group of 13 have broken away. Fernando, Casper, Chuck, Slater, T2, Eric, also has Vinny from Brazil, Dylan from South Africa, Ethan, Lincoln Jews, Toby, Ollie, and Javier are all in there with the top 5. So then there's a chase group of 5, and there's 2 Spaniards in that chase group of 5, and they're trying to grind back up to that top group of 13. But it's really tough heading in that headwind trying to draft. So I think the prone race has started as well. I think the lead boat's gonna drop back and try and get some footage of the top prone guys. Yeah, and of course the top prone guys, you're saying Australia and the United States are going to be the top there. So we're going to keep our eyes on Rory Chapman, Reese Burrows from Australia, and of course our USA team, Dion Lawrence and Shane Scoggins for the United States. And there's a whole field there of 26 competitors, and we'll try to keep you updated with everybody in the field there. We have a world champion longboarder and SUP surfer Antoine Dopero also in the prone race, trying to help out Team France. 19 minutes, 19 seconds into this 18K race, and here's some of our prone paddlers. We have 3 pages of names, and of course this is not the order that they're currently in. This is alphabetical order, showing you the countries and the names of these guys, and of course a big field this year. Yeah, big field. See some great names. We see Antoine Doporo. We've got Dion Lawrence, is an expat South African paddling for the US of A. Gilbert Baez from Venezuela as we go to page 2. But, I think we're going to see potentially a little dark horse I've forgotten about, which is Rock Frey. Rock Frey is a great endurance athlete, coach and ex-Ironman triathlete. Now, he's got into the prone paddling, been paddling Catalina and Molokai for the last few years. He's representing Team Canada, and he's used to paddling the 18-foot boards, but he should be up there as well.
Yeah, there's some more names. There's Sam, there's Rory, there's Rock that you were just talking about. Don't forget about the South Africans. They're very strong in their prone paddling. Nick Mole representing South Africa. Yeah,
and then New Zealand as well. We'll see Sam Shergold there as well. New Zealand having a big history in prone paddling as well. But Shane Scoggins, he's going to be the man. He's going to be the man that throws everything into the mix with the two Aussies, I think. So look for Shane, and he potentially could could very easily go out and take this out.
And we got another setting up the finishing buoys. Those are the buoys that you're seeing right now. And there's Kelly French getting ready to take that buoy to the outside. And got to say, tip our hats off to Barrett Tester and Kelly French for an excellent job they're doing setting up this course. Of course, if you recognize those names, those are the names of the organizers for the Battle of the Paddle and a lot of the SUP Series race you're going to see all summer long.
Yeah, that's right. And it's not an easy job. So good job to those guys. And if it wasn't for all the behind the scenes here, we wouldn't be where we are today. But just a little update for the prone there. We didn't really get to see too much, but we have Reece Burrows from Australia and Shane Scoggins setting the pace. Apparently, we have both Spaniards, which we expected up in the front pack, and Sam from New Zealand as well. So. And now we've just heard there's actually 14 guys in the lead SUP pack and 7 in the chase group. So setting up like a Tour de France style race right now, Bo.
Yeah, and you called it. You said there could be as many as 15, 20 guys that can win this race, a good hardcore 12 guys, any one of these 12. And knowing Fernando Stalla, he's out on a mission, and he looks fitter than ever, too.
Yeah, Fernando looks great, and he's got that perfect paddler's body. He's tall, he's lean, so yeah, he'll be out there. He's Fernando's due for a big race. He's always up there and around there. Hasn't quite got one of those big victories yet, but he's always in the lead and all around the lead. So who knows? Is this Fernando's day today? We're going to find out in a few hours.
Well, good day for Australia yesterday in the medal counts. Australia now has 2 golds, 1 silver, 1 copper. The United States also equaling the same amount of medals. They have 1 gold, 1 silver, 2 copper. France did not medal yesterday. They have 1 silver, 1 bronze, but Spain did up their medal tally. They're up to 2 bronze and 1 copper. Brazil got their first medal yesterday, Barbara Brazil with a bronze medal. New Zealand captured a copper medal yesterday, and of course Tahiti with 1 gold and Canada with 1 gold in the SUP distance for the ladies with Lena. And taking a look at the team standings, Australia is still leading the team standings in number 1. USA holding down team number 2. Brazil has moved up to 3rd place from 4th. Spain has moved up 4 spots yesterday with their performance in yesterday's women's long distance from 8th to 4th place, Jamie.
Yeah, I think the big surprise is France dropping from 3rd to 9th. They are. Is it official that they are out of the team relay? I think they were disqualified from unfortunate snap paddle, and I think that's took the wind out of their sails a little bit yesterday. They didn't have the greatest results in the women's and the prone SUP yesterday, so it looks like they're going to be out of the race. One of the hot favourites for the team. So, but I think Spain, the big mover and the big surprise, up in the 4th place. So,
well, we saw it during the technical semifinals with their prone paddlers how they upped their game, and you called them as possibly winning the copper medal for the team.
Yeah. I mean, it's what a great great year that they've had. Obviously, training and all that sort of stuff. So, as we see a pulled back view of the train there, and Chuck Glenn apparently now is sitting in 1st place on the lead train, and Slater in 2nd place. So Team USA controlling the pace, and then we have the 2 Frenchmen in 3rd and 4th. So they're sitting behind there. Fernando's dropped back to 5th. Casper's in 6th. Vinny from Brazil in 7th, and Javier from Mexico in 8th. So no Australians up there. So hopefully they're still in the pack. But looks like USA controlling the pace and France close behind.
So right now what we're seeing is Fernando and Casper leading the lead group out there, and all of a sudden now Team USA has gone. So are they sharing the pull of this draft going out right now?
Yeah, they'll be sharing. I mean, and if you don't want to pull, you just stop. Basically, you will stop paddling. So, as we see another update there, we have Lincoln and Toby from Australia in that pack, Dylan from South Africa, Ollie from the UK, Ethan, and that's the order of the train there. So, all the big guns in that pack. So it's going to be one big draft train, and can't wait to see when people start trying to make their moves.
Well, one of the top paddlers from Europe, Belar Diaz from Spain, and we got a bio piece from him. Let's check this out. As we see some of the buoys on the inside. These will be the marker buoys as they... Now let's check out Belar.
Belar Diaz, I'm from Spain, 36 years old. Going to be racing in a technical race and a distance race. From Fuerteventura, Canarias, that's where I practice. And un saludo a todo el mundo y que siga la transmisión directo desde la web oficial.
And Belar, one of the major influence in SUP racing in Europe, of course, helping the ISA with the purchase of 12 Fanatic boards. I believe 16 Fanatic boards for the lesser countries that are not able to bring their equipment out here, as we can see some of the competitors. And going back to the team standings, we were talking about the top four. Let's round out the top five and the bottom five here in our top 10. Mexico has moved up from 7th to 5th place. South Africa has moved down from 5th to 6th place. Peru has moved down from 6th to 7th place currently right now. Venezuela did quite well yesterday, moving up from 9th to 8th place. But the big shocker, as you said earlier, Jamie, was France moving from 3rd to 9th place. And local team Nicaragua maintaining 10th place in that top 10 of our 2017 standing.
Okay, we're going to drop down to Jody Nelson live with a special guest from yesterday's race. Take it away, Jody.
Thanks, Jamie. Yeah, down here with Shay Foudy. And Shay, 15 years old, you got your first ISA medal, 4th place yesterday. Just tell us a little bit about that race.
Oh my gosh, it was grueling, but definitely a great experience for me because I haven't really done anything like it. And I mean, just coming back, like down here, coming upwind was such a gnarly part, but I had fun. I mean, that's really what matters to me, is having fun with it and not stressing out too much. But I mentally and physically pushed myself as hard as I could, and I'm pretty stoked. Yeah, very happy.
Now, your last name sounds a little bit familiar. Why is that? Foudy. I know I've heard that before.
Yeah, my Aunt Julie Foudy, she was in the Olympics, 1999. And they took gold, and she's definitely been a huge role model for me, and really wants me to do well, and she has pushed me a lot, given me a lot of help. So I'm grateful for her.
That's awesome. And we heard a little bit of, I saw Jimmy Terrell, your coach, last night at our hotel. He was looking for, some medical assistance. Were you a little dehydrated? Tell us a little bit about last night.
Yeah, I came down with heat exhaustion, and I had a rough night last night. They gave me an IV, and I puked, and it was not fun. I'm like such a baby when it comes to needles, so it was like screaming going on in the room. But yeah, it was kind of scary, but I'm totally fine now. It's just I didn't hydrate after enough, and so, but it's all good. I'm okay.
And what do you think we can expect today from your teammates, Slater, Trout, and Chuck Glenn out there?
Yeah, I'm so stoked for them. I think they're going to do extremely well. They definitely know what they're doing, and I think they're going to work very well together. So I'm very excited for them. We're here to cheer them on. We love them. They are definitely the best team members, and I think Team USA is very supportive of each other, and we really do care about each other. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see how they do.
All right, well, congratulations, Shay Foudy, taking her in her first race, the ISA World Championships here in Nicaragua, and already taking her first medal at just 15. Back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Jody, and congratulations, Shay, and glad to hear that she's A-OK, and a learning experience for her, but a name to remember for years to come. Only at 15, she's beyond her years, Jamie.
Yeah, it's and to be able to tough it out like that and push your body really bodes well for the future for her. So she's obviously got that mental strength, and able to go to that next level. As we see on the screen, a huge train here, and we're looking at sort of at the back of, it looks like to me, the back of the lead group there, and I'm not sure if that's no, it's
Is that
not
Casper?
No, I would be surprised if that's Casper. I don't think he would let himself get that far back from the front group. But I just a quick update. I'm pretty sure I just got a message in from SUP Racer that it's still Slater in first, Chuck second. Lincoln has moved up into third place. T2 from France in fourth. Fernando in fifth. Casper sixth. Vinny in seventh. Eric in eighth. Javier in ninth. Toby from Australia in 10th. Dylan from South Africa in 11th. The Italian paddler in 12th, Ollie and Ethan. So again, no one's breaking away, and looks like we've sort of got out of the super headwind right now. They're about to head into the islands, and like I said, it's pretty flat. It's going to be hard to break away, but I think once they get closer to Monkey Island, where I was saying there's a few little swells that run close to the islands where it gets shallower. Maybe if these competitors have paddled around there a bit, they might see an opportunity to try and break away.
There's our live boat feed. You can see these guys. And we're going to be hopefully tapping in to Chris Parker from supracer.com momentarily. Try to give you a bird's eye view of what he's seeing, and he's been reporting via smartphone with Jamie Mitchell. But we'd like to thank all of our. Before we get into our sponsor, we got a bio on one of our top SUP racers here.
Hi, my name is Itzel Delgado. I'm from Peru. I practice stand-up paddle racing. I practice it in Peru, in La Herradura. And I would like to invite all my people from Peru. Por favor, gentita de Perú, miren el live webcast y apoyen a la selección de Perú. Nos vemos.
Very excited kid, and that's what you're seeing, all different ages. We'd like to thank all of our great sponsors here, making the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships a huge success, presented by Intour, Nicaragua's Ministry of Tourism, also being sponsored by Avianca, Voss TV, Tigo, Channel 6 locally here in Nicaragua, also Love Decks, the European Union, Viva, Nicaragua, channel number 13. Our media partners also include supracer.com, Surfos, Latin America's leading surf publication, Passion Extrema on Fox Sports Latin America, SUP Club, Waves Brazil, Surfers Village, and StandUpLatino.com. Currently in the race, we are 32 minutes, 25 seconds, and this lead pack has even grown now, Jamie.
Yeah, I think there's about 13 in the pack there. Looks like Slater and Chuck are up the front. That's Fernando, I see. Oh, someone's just fallen. Oh, that's a bit of a chain effect there. Two guys have gone down. That looked like maybe Toby from Australia that went down. But, you'll be able to recover there because the train's so long. You just pull back in and work your way back up. So, it's, these guys, as we expected, a huge, big group. And, again, I think it's going to be that downwind course that's going to, separate the men from the boys.
Okay, we're going to check in with Chris Parker from supracer.com. Chris, take it away. What do you see?
Hey, guys, we're out here on the lead boat following the action, and it's been a pretty intense race so far. The guys set a pretty mean pace right off the start. The Frenchman, Eric Ferrier, and his teammate, Tito-Juan, tried to break the field early, but straight away a draft train of 14 guys has formed. At around the 3-kilometre mark, it's the USA duo of Slater Trout and Chuck Lynn setting a pretty good pace that has dropped all of the rest of the field. The whole field is scattered over about 600 or 700 metres right now. We're just coming out of this large bay, out of the headwind that's caused drafting to be a little problematic the first few minutes. But at the moment, it's Chuck and Slater setting the pace. Young Lincoln Jews from Australia is doing very well in third. Eric and Tito-Juan seem to be just biding their time. They're in fourth and fifth at the moment. But all the contenders are up there. Casper, Fernando, Toby, Javier from Mexico, Vinny from Brazil. The two South African youngsters are in there. Ollie from the UK is hanging on to the back of the pack despite not having eaten all week. Good effort, Ollie. So at the moment we've got 14 guys. You go back a few hundred metres and Ballard Diaz is working his ass off trying to catch back up, but I don't think they're going to be able to do it. We're just turning left. We're heading towards where you'd see buoy 2 on the course map. There's a bit of exposed area from the main lake, so there's going to be some long rolling bumps hitting the field in about a minute's time that could mix things up. But at the moment, Slater Trout is setting a pretty good pace on the front. For now, these 14 guys look they might stick together, but I don't think the likes of Eric and Casper are going to want such a big train for the next hour. So I expect a few surges here and there.
Thanks, Chris. How was that upwind leg? Was there any surges? Did anyone try and get away, or was everyone just happy to sit in the train?
For the first few minutes, everybody was jockeying for position. There was 2 draft trains going in parallel. The French were leading one, and Fernando Stella, to my surprise, was going really hard in the other train. Nobody could break the others despite a bit of a stiff headwind. They were just too similar in strength, I guess, but they did break the rest of the field very fast. Eric fell off a couple of times and made a couple of surges to the front, but for now he seems to be happy sitting in number 5. I'd say this pack's going to stick together probably most of the next 30 or 40 minutes, but with Slater and Chuck sitting at a good pace and Eric just looking for every opportunity, I'd say there'll be a few surges to come.
When we paddled yesterday afternoon, there was a couple of little swells rolling through the protected bay there, closer to where the rocks got shallow. Are you guys anywhere near that? Can you see that? Is there any chance to catch those little swells and potentially break the pack? And it looks like Team USA and Team France are trying to work together. Is Toby and Lincoln also trying to work together, or is it more just the French and the US of A?
Well, yeah, like you said, those exposed areas where swells roll in from the big lake are definitely going to come into play in the next few minutes because we're at the most exposed area of their race right now. And the boat's rocking pretty hard, so there's good, 1-foot swells rolling in over the guys' right-hand shoulders. So there'll be some very slight downwind, crosswind bumps that could break up the train any moment. Yeah, it looks like the Americans have got a pretty good game plan for Jimmy Sarah. They're rocking 1-2. Chuck was in the lead and Slade was in the lead. The Switchies be working together, but it almost looks like it's a little frustrated that they can't this pack at the moment.
Okay, Chris, we're just starting to lose you, but thanks very much for the update. SUPRacer.com, live off the boat, and great to hear that, on-the-minute coverage there. This sounds like a battle happening, Dan, as we welcome Dan Gravier back to the booth, and sounds like it's heating up, and you could hear the excitement in Chris's voice there.
Absolutely. It's like you said, it's going to be a game of strategy and drafting until we get out into the more open bits. I think, obviously where we may see some surges once they get a view onto buoy number 4 and 5 and finally 6 before the finish. Certainly this race could come down to a run up the beach. And as some of our paddlers got a chance to kind of play with that during the relay team race and also in the technical race, it could come down to your ground speed, and maybe the taller guys might have a little bit of an advantage there with Casper and with probably Slater Trout.
Yeah, well, let's talk about that, because that is a very, very big possibility that it is gonna be a sprint to the beach, and Slater Trout has shown his speed over many sprint finishes. Lincoln Juice and Toby, from the surf life saving background, both tall guys, have long legs. They both can run. Fernando, he can definitely run. He's about 7'8", so he can get those legs up. And
Fernando probably is the tallest of the bunch.
He probably is the tallest.
At 6'3".
The smaller guys, Casper too. Casper can definitely sprint. He nearly ran me down a couple of times last year. Well, he did run me down one time. So, but but then in the mindset of a guy like Chuck Glenn, who potentially is not going to be able to match with those guys, he's going to have to break the pack. He doesn't have you don't have a choice. You realize that you're going to finish 5th out of, if you're in a group of those 5 or 6, you're going to finish at the tail end. It's so he's going to have to somehow work out, how am I going to get a board length or 2 in front. So look for him to maybe get to the front of the train and not try and let that go to get to the buoy first. So all these tactics, but let's not get too ahead of ourselves. We'll see what happens in this. Trying to break away. I think with what I saw last night with the little swells, the rolling swells coming through the inside bay area, through Monkey Island, and then as we get out in the exposed area where we saw Lena and Shakira try and battle it out yesterday down to that buoy number 5.
For sure, that downwind leg was the deciding factor. And the wind's a little bit lighter today. We're getting a little more respite from the sun, some high clouds coming over. And I tell you, when those clouds come across and cover the sun, boy, the temperature really, you can feel it. It feels like about a 15-degree drop in temperature. So I think today the guys are getting a little bit easier conditions here with a little less wind, but certainly cooler temperatures today. It feels a lot drier today than yesterday. I think the humidity has dropped quite a bit overnight, and certainly all these things are going to lead to faster times. And yeah, we'll have to see how the surges go. But kind of working our way backwards from the finish, Jamie, another place where we saw some serious strategy and some of the athletes really making up time and others losing it was the buoy turns. We've got the buoy number 4, which is about a 200-degree turn, and buoy number 5, which is almost a 180-degree turn there. So both these turns, left-hand turns, could possibly favor a regular footer, I would say. So it could come down to a surfing stance. It could come down to a good turn versus a bad turn. So I think we'll see some jockeying and some position changes, if you will, at the buoy turns as well.
Well, as of right now, I can tell you that Eric and T2 have broken the train. There is a side chop. Chris Parker's just given me an update on my phone. He said the train is fracturing. They hit a side chop with the rough side chop. Eric sensed it, moved to the front. So, this is full Tour de France style, like they're starting to climb the Alpe d'Huez. That's what Chris is saying out there. So the train's broken. Eric and T2 went out on their own. Toby Cracknell is going with them. Chris says T2 is a machine downwind, and he's getting some good little bumps in there. Eric and T2 have a 20-minute lead. Toby, Chuck, Vinny, Fernando, Casper, Lincoln, Javier, Ethan, Dylan, and Ollie are still hanging in there just behind that front 2 of 20 meters.
So a bit of a chase group there. So getting back to some live action here on your camera. 2014 ISA Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboard Championships, about halfway through, I would say, our distance race for today. We're at the 42-minute mark, give or take, maybe just coming up on the halfway mark. And it's looking good. We've got a lot of great action and jockeying for position. And now we're seeing maybe some races within the race. Here we have some of the paddlers coming up, maybe some other paddlers.
These are the coaches heading out. This is the Team USA. You see Ian Kenga-Cans out in front, Jimmy Terrell out there. They're heading out to cheer on their paddlers like they did yesterday. They'll probably be sitting close to buoy number 4 and just sitting there yelling some encouragement. So as they head out, good to see the support. They want to go out there and yell out and scream and encourage on their paddlers. So good on those guys for heading out. As we go back to the start, it looks like the start there. You see T2 on the inside, Slater Trout, Chuck Glenn, and relatively drama-free start. Actually, no one's really bumping rails there. We see Eric at the start, Toby on the far left. There's Fernando on the left. We have
so a little horse race.
A little bit of bump there, a little bit of wash. We have Casper there with the backpack on, and so yeah, it's no one's gone in, fallen off, but as you can see, a nice little pack forming already right off the start. As you can see, that wind and the flags is blowing directly in those guys' face. So straight into a headwind for the first part of the race and finishing with a headwind. So tough race for these guys, but they're professionals, so they'll be out there giving it their all, and now they're in a bit of a side chop, and they'll come out and have a bit of a downwind. So they've got a little bit of everything today.
Yeah, and going out really hard. We saw Chuck and Slater, but it was the Frenchmen who I'd give the whole shot to there as they came through the narrow part of the boat harbor there, taking the lead there. And sounds like he actually fell and was able to get back up and catch back up. So really huge effort coming out of Eric Terrien in France.
Yeah, so we're going to try and get back to prone to check out the prone race. But as we get another update, Eric and T2 are actually we'll go back to the screen here and see this is the prone men's race here. And as we see
nice lineup.
A nice lineup. Obviously we're going to have, looks like Team USA on the far left there. We have the Peruvian young kid there on the carbon fiber board. It looks like Reese Burrows up on the far right-hand side of your screen. Shane Scoggins has put himself right next to him. So, I can't. And as we go, off they go, and frantic pace as we see Reese Burrows there, going hard off the start on his knees, and
wow.
Roy Chapman and Shane Scoggins to the left, but Reese Burrows going like the clappers out there and really putting the pace on. So, Reese, it looks like I'm not sure who that is on Geordie Mercer's board from yesterday, but number 179, Reese Burrows from Australia, setting at the early pace, and he should, I'm not sure what his game plan was, but potentially he could have, got out by himself there if he'd wanted to, but that would be a long way to go all on your own. So, as we see the big pack there, it's nearly like seeing a big flock of birds when they get into formation. You have one guy at the front, and then they flank.
Kind of a V.
And so it's a great shot there as we see a couple of the locals frolicking in the shore of Lake Nicaragua and waiting for the finishers to come in.
Sounds like we have Jody down on the beach with a special guest from Peru. Jody?
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, down here with Isinca Delgado. I think Liz Inca Delgado. She's Team Peru. We saw her. She was the last finisher yesterday, but one of my biggest heroes because she did finish, and she was out there for over 3 hours. And you have your son and your husband out there, Team Delgado, racing in the stand-up distance race. Tell us about, were you able to give them some advice about the course, and how did they prepare for today?
Yeah, well, we have been training a lot, and I gave them all the tips I could, explain where the flags were located, which were the turns they needed to be careful, and about the rocks that are close to the cliffs, that you can hit your thin if you are not careful or if you are too close. And the most I gave them was power, strong, courage to make it in the best positions they can.
How special is it for you to be here, not only representing your country, but being able to race with your family?
Well, it's amazing. It is an experience that, as I said to my son yesterday night, this is something I will be sharing even with my grandchildren. Is represent your country in a world championship with your son, with your husband. It's something that you don't have words to explain what it feels. It's awesome, and I feel so proud about us, and I'm so thankful with the Peruvian Federation and with everybody that has been so kind with us and helped us and make this dream become true. We trained a lot, we paddle a lot, and we're here and we are giving the best.
Now, as a mother, your son, he's what, 15?
Yes.
And 15 years old, and talk about that headwind at the very end, and are you worried at all for him?
Oh yeah, well, the mother inside was like, don't forget your drinks, don't forget your health, have you have your breakfast complete, the mother things. And when we were before the departure, I was like, wet your hair, and he was like, Mom, please let me do it by myself. But it's something I can't control. It's the mother inside that gets so excited about having. This is the first time he's competing in an international level. He always has been competing with Peruvians, so this is very excited for me.
All right, well, congratulations to you just for having your whole family here and being able to have that experience. And boys, I'm sure we're going to have a pretty emotional final today with Liz Zinca on the finish line, waiting patiently and nervously for her family to come in. Back to you guys in the booth.
Great interview there. Thank you, Jody. And looking out at the beach, it's a beautiful day. It's a Saturday here, so we get a lot of the locals frolicking in the waters here, just like we had last weekend at La Boquita Beach, where we commenced with all of our SUP surfing heats. And really great being out there in the waves. And sounds like there's another great swell hitting the coast of Nicaragua right now. So if you ever get a chance, make sure you come on down and take a visit to Nicaragua. You're going to find beautiful places to paddle and to stay in a warm, welcoming environment, a country full of tradition and spirit and hospitality, beautiful food, art, and places to hang out. So we have to thank Intour, the division of Nicaraguan tourism, for opening their arms and hearts to our sport, and we've had a great time since being here.
Yeah, nice little update again. It still sounds like we have Eric Thierien and Titu Puyu from France working together. As you see Barrett Tester on screen, race official there. And so, yeah, those two guys have still got about 4 board lengths of a lead. And we have, sounds like Toby Cracknell from Australia trying to close that gap with Slater and the rest of those top guys just hanging on in there. So looks like 11th to 14th have been totally dropped. Ethan and Dylan from South Africa, the Italian paddler and Ollie Shilston look like they've been dropped off that second group there. So they're going to work together to try and get back up to that second chase group as well. So yeah, it's all happening right now, and I think we're going to try and get Chris Parker from SUP Racer back on the phone for an update. He's seeing everything live right now. So if we look at the current top 10, we have in first and second the French team of T2 and Eric. Third was Slater Trout. Fourth, Toby Cracknell from Australia. Fifth, Chuck Glynn from the USA. Sixth, Vincius Martins from Brazil. Seventh, Fernando Stahler. Eighth, Casper Steinfart from Denmark. Ninth, Lincoln Juice from Australia. And 10th, Javier Jimenez from Mexico. So all the big names up in that front group. And can the French hang on? They're probably fired up from what's happened in the past few days. So, they're out for a big race, and obviously they're going to work together.
Absolutely. That's great, and it is really... Here we got Chris.
Yeah, it looks like... Chris, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Go ahead, buddy. We're waiting for an update.
Whew, it's been pretty intense 5 minutes out here. We hit a rough section as we came around the corner near buoy 2, and as expected, the French made a pretty blistering attack. Tito on the downwind machine just absolutely took off, broke the field. Eric Thierien, his teammate, went with him. Nobody could match them in the little mini downwind section. By the time we got back up to the flats in about 500 metres, the guys had a good 10 board length lead. At that point, Slater Trout and Toby Cracknell went to work trying to rein in the Frenchies. There was a split in the group all the way down. The guys in 11th to 14th, the South Africans, the Italian, Ollie from the UK, they couldn't handle the pace. They got dropped. As we hit the flat, Slater and Toby went into overdrive trying to chase down T2, and right now they've just caught back up. T2 is sitting on the front of the train. Slater is right there behind him. Chuck is behind him. Casper is in 4th. Fernando and Lincoln are in 5th and 6th. Eric has fallen in. He's looking soaking wet. He's coming down the outside in 7th. 8th, 9th, and 10th are Toby, Vinny, and Javier from Mexico. So there's a bit of drama there for about 5 minutes. The Frenchies tried to make a break. It was all Tour de France style, like they were climbing the mountain and trying to drop the field. But as they hit the flat, Slater Trout and Toby worked together to drag the other 8 guys back up. So as it stands right now, there's a group of 10. They've dropped a group of 4 who are about 50 metres back, being led by Dylan, Ethan, I believe Federico from Italy, and Ollie from the UK. They're coming right past the boat now. I've got an amazing view. Come on, Dylan!
And
They're
Chris,
trying to close the gap.
we're
about another 500 metres back to the other chase group, but that's the top 10, and then the 4 chasers in the top 14.
and Chris, where exactly on the course are you now? Have you guys hit buoy 3? Are you between buoy 3 and buoy 4?
We're between buoys 2 and 3 at the moment, Jamie. We're not too far from Monkey Island, I believe.
And
some time into the race.
It sounds like Eric has fallen in a few times there. That doesn't sound too promising for this downwind leg. Is he looking tired, or is he just lapses of concentration? It sounds like he's already fallen in three or 4 times.
Eric's on a very narrow board in this race, and I believe his plan was to get out in front and set his own pace. He doesn't like being next to guys. He gets bumped off very easily. It's going to be interesting to see, even if he's out the front when they hit that downwind section, he's going to need a pure downwind. If it's a crosswind, he's going to be falling in every few hundred metres. He's fallen in about 3 times now. But at the moment, he's looking okay. He's back in the top pack, working his way down the outside, and he's going to try and rejoin T2 on the front, perhaps try and make another move.
Yeah, so
at the moment, it's pure flat. The top 10 are holding together.
Yeah, so it sounds like Eric's real only chance is maybe to try and break away and get out into that from buoy 4 to 5 by himself. But if he's falling off in the flat water there, I don't give him too much hope in that downwind leg. But T2 sounds like he could be the man from down to from buoy 4 to 5. If anything goes with that little downwind leg that you guys just had.
I'm calling it now. If there's downwind, and you can probably give me an update from the beach, if there's a downwind section like we saw yesterday when Leonard broke Shaq, T2 is going to break the entire field between buoy number 4 and 5. In that short little downwind section, it was only 300 or 400 meters. He put a gap on absolutely everybody. Even Eric couldn't go with him. So if we get a 1 kilometre downwinder, look for T2 PO, or T2 as we like to call him, I think he could have it.
And how's the young Aussies looking? Have Toby tried to make a move there? Are they looking strong? Are they in the pack?
They're looking safe. I wouldn't say they're looking strong. They're slightly vulnerable, but Toby's actually impressed me. He did the work with Slater to catch back up that gap with Eric and T2 when they really put the hammer down to try and break the rest of the field. So Toby's looking good. Lincoln's hanging on. I'd say most of the guys in the top 10 are just trying to play it smart and be there in the lead pack when they get to buoy 4, when the field's going to sputter in that little downwind section at the end.
And Chuck Glenn and also Fernando going out hard. Have they just been able to hang in the pack? They haven't been doing any more work, just sort of trying to hang in there and recover?
Fernando's looking stronger than I expected. He went out really hard. Don't know how much energy that sucked out of him, but if he's got some endurance, he's going to be there at the end. My feeling is he's probably used too much at the start because he really went out hard, led the train for the good first kilometre. Chucky Glenn is looking extremely strong. He led for about 500 or 600 metres. Slater Trout's impressed me. He was one of the guys that reeled in Eric and T2 in the flats. So at the moment, I'd say it's the USA and the French, and right behind them, I'd probably put the Aussies. Caspar, he just seems to be playing it cool at the moment. He's not trying to do too much work, but he's making sure he's in that lead pack safely. Look for him. He's one of the smartest competitors out there. But at the moment, the French are definitely adding all the excitement to the race.
Yeah, on screen we can see the second pack in our screen. Looks like the two South Africans, Ollie and the Italian, looking like a few hundred.
Yeah, that's Federico Benetolo from Italy. It's the two South Africans, Ethan and Dylan, Federico and Ollie. They got dropped in that bumpy section as we came around buoy number 2. Ollie was actually off the back all on his own in 14th, and we know he's had a rough week with illness, but we were shouting out some pretty strong encouragement. He managed to dig deep, and he got back on the back of that train. So at the moment, they're working hard, but I think Eric and T2 are setting too high a pace.
Is that Ethan? I'm not familiar too much with Ethan. Is that him on the Nash board and Dylan on the starboard right behind him?
Yeah, Ethan is on the yellow Nash. Dylan's on the starboard. And then behind that, I think in the white shirt, we've got the Italian kid, Federico, and then Ollie at the back there, if you've got the same image as me. I actually just got an update for the prone, if you guys would like that.
Yeah, that'd be great. We haven't seen too much of the prone. Please give us an update.
Our roving reporter, Philip from South Latino, has just given us an update. Sam Shergold, the youngster from New Zealand, is in number 1. He's leading. There's a bit of a pack at the moment. Reese Burrows is sitting in second, the Aussie. After that, we can't get IDs on the numbers. We're on the phone trying to ID the rest of the guys. They're about 500 or 600 metres back, and we can't see them in these islands. But I did get a good shot off the start. The two Americans, particularly Shane, was setting a good pace, and we'd all expect Reese Burrows to be in the top pack as well. So at the moment, the young New Zealanders setting a pretty good pace, and I'd say the two Aussies are there, and Shane as well.
Oh, thanks, Chris. And yeah, as we're seeing a pulled back view from your boat, we're seeing the 4 paddlers just trying to make up that gap, but. Looks like is that Monkey Island ahead of us? We can see in the foreground.
You can see Monkey Island now. Yep, the camera is looking at the back of Ollie's board there. Federico sitting in front of him, Dylan in front of that, and then Ethan. They've actually done a really good job here. They're getting back to within 40 or 50 metres of the lead pack. I don't know, you might be on a slight delay, but Eric Terrien, he's had enough of getting bumped off in the train and falling in. He's sitting on his own off to the right as we head straight towards Monkey Island, the infamous Monkey Island. T2 PO is still leading. Chucky Glenn and Slater Trout are working hard. Toby Cracknell's still up there in the top 4. Casper's moved into about 5th. Lincoln, Javier, Fernando, Vinny Martins, they're still hanging on top 10. I'm actually impressed with Ethan Koopmans right now. He's closing some ground. I thought the guys were gone, the guys in 11th to 14th, but they might just catch back up if they can hold this pace another few minutes. But Eric looks like he's making a move as we're within sight of the crazy monkeys on Monkey Island.
Yeah, it looks like Eric, we can see, is broken off to the right, and it'll be interesting to see if anyone tries to fall off and go with him on the side, because we all know what Eric did over in the Lost Mills in Germany, Dan and Chris, and he doesn't mind going out by himself and going for broke.
Yeah, absolutely. Eric knows how to set his own pace. Just as you said that, on the money, Casper has gone over to hop on Eric's tail. He's taken Vinny Martins and Javier Jimenez with him. They're playing it smart. They're following the strong Frenchman. I'm just going to jump back to the porthole here to try and give you a better reception. But Eric is leading Casper, Javier, and Vinny off to the right. Parallel is T2, Chuck, Slater, Fernando, Lincoln, and Toby. Ethan Koopmans from South Africa doing a stellar job trying to close this gap. It's painfully close, but they're still about 10 or 15 board lengths behind.
Yeah, well,
T2 is just coming up on Monkey Island now.
Yeah, if the guys in front might have to be careful if they start playing this game of jockeying and starting to try and conserve. Then these guys, this second four, may just keep this pace and may just tuck back onto the back pack.
Yeah, absolutely. Somebody in that lead pack has got to do the work. Otherwise, these back four are going to catch up. Ethan and Dylan are making a surge right now. They're talking to each other. They're working together. Ethan's calling Dylan onto the front, telling him to set the pace to catch these guys now or never. Federico from Italy is struggling to hold on. Ollie is looking tired. Dylan is setting a mean pace right now. He can see Toby within about 40 or 50 metres in front. He can throw a stone at him from here. He wants to catch back up.
Yeah.
At the moment, Eric is surging to the front with T2. It looks like the French want to have another crack at controlling the race.
And it looks like Eric has come back into the pack. He looks like he's now falling into third place. Is it behind T2? And is it Chuck in the white jersey?
Yeah, we're right next to the 11th to 14th guys right now. Can almost reach out and touch Ollie. Come on, Ollie! Get up there! Dylan, Ethan, Federico, Ollie, 11th to 14th. Come on, Dylan! Close the
Looks
gap!
like Dylan's really made a move
At
here.
the front, the French are setting the pace. Eric and T2 are in 1-2. Slater Trout is right there in number 3. Casper's in number 4. I tell you what, the leaders aren't doing much work right now. The pace is kind of dropped.
Yeah, it looks like
you've got to be kidding me!
Looks like the Italian.
No.
Looks like the Italian and Italy have dropped off. What's happened?
Ethan! Oh my God!
What's happening there, Christopher?
He broke his paddle.
Oh, we might have a situation with a broken paddle or a lost paddle.
Yeah,
Ethan Koopmans. He's just snapped his paddle out. He's agonizing. He was working so hard with Dylan to close the gap. He's taking a dip right now. He's literally sitting right next to Monkey Island. He's painful. He was doing really well. He looked like he was going to close the gap with Dylan. They were working 1-2. Now Dylan's doing all the work for himself for South Africa. He's shattering. He was right in front of us, and literally the blade just floated right past us.
Yeah, that's
shocking.
Terrible.
Back out the front, poor Ethan. Back out the front. The Frenchies are controlling this race. Casper's sitting, biding his time in number 3. Slater's in number 4. Dylan, maybe spurred on, knowing he's the only South African, is just hammering. Looks like he might even catch these guys because the front pack aren't really working too hard at the moment. I'll try and get off the webcam there.
And how is that? That mean how is that for the Italian and for Ollie? Does that mean they've been dropped?
They got broken straight away. That was so painful. The South Africans knew that was their chance. They started working together. They started talking. Dylan went onto the front and they just started sprinting. And as soon as they did that sprint pace, Dylan's paddle just snapped. The blade came right off and it literally floated right by me. But Dylan, he's carrying the flag for South Africa now. And I tell you what, he's doing a pretty good job.
He looks like he's closing the gap, too, between the
He's trying to close the
group.
gap. He's only about 30 metres behind Javier Jimenez and Toby, who are in 9th and 10th.
Okay,
Wow.
that might be just the energy he needed was his teammate to go out like that. Potentially, did he hit a rock, Chris, or did the paddle just break? I know there are some shallow sections when we went paddling last night. I'm just wondering if he...
I'd say it was just, I could see the... Can you still hear me? The blade was in perfect tack, but it looked like there was a bit of a crack on the shaft. I think there was no rocks around. He just put in a big surge and started sprinting to try and catch them. And as you know, the most likely chance to snap a paddle is when you suddenly do a big surge. And there goes the generator, so I'm going to run back downstairs so you won't hear me.
No, that's great. That's good, Chris. We'll catch up to you just as we get back out to the downwind leg. But great update, and we'll look forward to the next update. Thanks, Chris.
Great. Excellent reporting there from SUP Racers Chris Parker. You see a little bit of breakup digitizing on the screen. We just don't have the Wi-Fi signal there, but great live coverage and live commentary from Chris Parker. We appreciate it and all the efforts here, the ISA 2014 SUP and World Paddleboard Championships. My name's Dan Gavir. We're joined here with Jamie Mitchell and some exciting action going on there. Real heartbreak for the South African Ethan Koopmans just breaking his paddle, and the official ruling is he can't take assistance. So this was something that was brought up actually in the team managers meeting about breaking equipment and taking assistance from anyone on the boat, and the official decision was that each paddler is on their own. All the support they get has to be from their own vessel. They did have a water station where they had the option to take only water, and unfortunately Ethan Koopmans didn't have another paddle on board to continue on his mission, and that's going to be a real blow for South Africa.
Yeah, just, you never want to see someone go out like that. That's such a bummer, and to have equipment failure like that, heartbreaking. I feel for Ethan and everyone back in South Africa watching, but hey, you still have one big boy in the race, and that's Dylan Frick, and he is motoring right there. Looks like he's closing the gap slowly to that front pack, and with a bit of disarray maybe in that front pack, with everyone realizing that they're coming into this, potentially, and I wouldn't call it downwind. I've probably been over exaggerating when I'm saying it's downwind, but there is motion on the ocean. There is some action out there. There's some bumps, so it is going to favour. And all I've been hearing about this T2 from France is how good of a downwind paddler he is. I've never met the kid. I don't know. I've never seen him paddle, but from all reports, he's a machine. An OC1 paddler. So I know that Slater Trout can paddle downwind. I know the Aussie boys can go downwind.
Absolutely.
So
Fernando Stala. All these guys have a ton of downwind experience too. Sounds like T2, that is just one of the things that has become his specialty. So we'll have to see who can hang with him. I mean, yesterday we gave Shaq the nod on the downwind, and it was Lena who totally let it out. So it's hard to say. You say there's motion on the ocean. Well, this is also Lake Nicaragua, so it's maybe a little bit different. Maybe it's the wake on the lake, and maybe someone can take advantage of that. And with that, there's a little bit of difference in paddling in the salt water and the fresh water. Certainly the boards are more buoyant. So there's, maybe some different tactics to be taken here because this is a lake environment. So that'll be really interesting to see as they come around buoy 4 into basically the conditions we're seeing on screen right now is the conditions that they're going to be dealing with. Yeah,
definitely. And, there's just, sorry, I didn't mean motion of the ocean. I just, Dan pulled me up on that one. But that's all good. But it is a little bit of a different texture, different feeling, but a little bit more sticky. But, we're definitely going to see, I don't think you're going to be able to, stay on the tail too much once you get to this, buoy 4 and go down to 5. So, I really think that you're going to see everyone spread out and go it on their own, and we'll see who has the strongest potential, like little downwind legs. So I think as we're going to throw to a commercial break, Dan.
That's right. So we'll be right back from the ISA 2014 Stand-Up Paddle and Paddleboard World Championships. Stay tuned.
How long shall the wicked reign over my people?
As the non-profit world governing body for surfing, recognized by the IOC, the ISA has been crowning surfing world champions since 1964 and continues to develop and expand the sport of surfing. From its humble beginnings off the shores of Hawaii and Polynesia to massive global expansion, surfing is ready for the sporting world's greatest stage. Join us.
And we're back here in La Granada, Lake Nicaragua. My name's Dan Gavir. I'm joined here with Jamie Mitchell at the ISA 2014 SUP and Paddleboard World Championships, and just an awesome battle going on between our stand-up paddlers and our prone paddlers in the 18-kilometer distance course. And sounds like we have Jody down there on the beach with Team South Africa. Jody?
Thanks, Dan. Yeah, got the whole team down here. They just arrived. They were out there watching the start. And, you know, we just got some unfortunate news with Ethan, 17-year-old on your team, breaking his paddle. And, you know, what is this? Is there a bug on me? What does this do? You know, you've got Dylan Frick out there, too, but, you know, kind of unfortunate circumstances.
I mean, it's really heartbreaking. Ethan's been training his heart out. He has been so ready, so amped. He was looking great for the last couple of days. But it's the risk of sport, you know, that's what makes it exciting, but heartbreaking.
Yeah. And, I mean, you guys were competing in the surf, and I'm sure you've experienced broken paddle in the surf, but you're not halfway across a race. You know, tell us a little bit about what you think, you know, is going through Ethan's mind right now.
Yeah, you know, you want to break a paddle in a less of a major event than this one. But, yeah, shame that, you know, the youngster, 17 years old, put his heart and soul into this. Fortunately, he's got a career of racing still, ahead of him and still to come. But, yeah, nobody wants to break a paddle at this level. You know, the two guys were working well together just before we heard news that he had broken the paddle. So that's disappointing, because I think if they'd been able to paddle together, that would have changed the outcome as well. So, yeah, we've still got Dylan in there. Apparently he's on the front bunch, so we had to root for him. He's going to be up front and giving it his best shot.
Right, and you know, fellow teammate here, you surfed in the surf competition for stand up, and you know, tell us what you think about Dylan's chances here today.
Well, yeah, those two kids in Cape Town, they've just been pushing each other, taking it to the next level. So I think I definitely think he has a really good chance. He has a fighting spirit, so I know he'll come back from the second pack and take the lead. And yeah, looking forward to watching the finish, and we'll be here in full force blowing the vuvuzelas, bring them home.
All right, well, why don't you guys lead us out with a little vuvuzela, as we'll be hearing this at the finish line, boys. We'll send it back to you in the booth.
And that's appropriate there as we go back to a live shot on the screen. Great little interview there with Team South Africa. Again, heartbreaking turn of events for the young Ethan Koopmans, breaking his paddle, unfortunately. And a few paddles breaking here through the weekend that have potentially changed up a few situations, including the broken paddle we saw in the team relay qualifier the other day. And again, it goes back to who can take the outside assistance. Here, nice side shot there of your lead pack, and you can just see how hot it is on the horizon there. You can see kind of some distortion in the horizon line there, just showing the heat just boiling off the water. And, you know, it looks like they've just hit this so-called downwind section, and I don't see too much wind or bump to ride here.
Well, they're actually, it looks like they're heading out to buoy 4, and then they'll turn and then head to buoy 5. So, but yeah, as it did yesterday a little bit, it seemed like the wind was stronger in the morning, and then it sort of backed off a little bit. But it's not flat. There'll be something there, so there'll be at least something for these guys to try and chase down. So as we see, it looks like a pack of 11 in the front there, and it looks like Ollie Shilston and so I think Federico from Italy, who just fell in there on the right of your screen, looks like that have just dropped off the pack. But speaking of Ollie, I've got a bunch of shout-outs on Twitter. One from Forest Entertainment just saying, hey, a big shout-out to Sam. He's 10 years old, cheering on Aaron and Ollie from the UK, SUP Jersey, and also SUP North. They're glued to the feed, rooting for Aaron and Ollie and Team Great Britain. And also their prone paddlers, Andre and Robert. So yeah, good on you, boys. Thanks for the support. Also, Pete Holiday, I know he's been watching. So, yeah, Ollie, doing you proud. I know he's had a bit of food poisoning the last 3 days and hasn't been able to eat, and I know how that feels. So he's doing a great job, and props to him. So as we see a great shot there, and an even better shot now. Now looks like that's T2 has gone to the front. It looks like Slater Trout from and maybe Slater and Chuck in second and third. So trying not to let him go. And yeah, this is we're getting to the money end of the race. We're 1 hour and 16 minutes exactly into this race. Potentially about half an hour to go. And it's going to come down to the wire, Dan. And I think we're about to see some moving and shaking in this field.
Absolutely, and I'll be curious to see what the time spread is between the prone paddlers and the stand-up paddlers, because yesterday between our first place in the women's in the stand-up versus the first place in the women's in the prone, there was less than a minute between them. So that's a pretty tight margin on a nearly 2-hour race. So it'll be interesting to see. And with, I believe, a bit lighter conditions than yesterday, I think this will give a little bit of the nod to the prone. Although they're not racing against each other, it's always fun to compare the two. And here with another nice profile shot, the side angle of our lead group. There's the media boat just kind of pulling around that lead group, making sure to take a really wide berth to make sure that they're not affecting the group with the wake of the boat. And this is also the boat that's carrying our live feed.
Yeah, and hopefully we can get Chris back on sometime soon. But as we see, the competitors starting to funnel in to support here, and as we see this, look at this. Looks like a Tour de France on water. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 guys in this this lead train. But T2 from France, he's in first. It looks like Slater and Chuck, the US duo, in second and third. Toby Cracknell, I think, with the no shirt and on the dashboard there in fourth. Potentially Fernando in fifth. Looks like Eric in sixth. And then, Lincoln's in there somewhere. We have Casper in there somewhere.
Dylan's in there, isn't he?
Dylan Frick got himself back up there. So, we'll try and get a closer view. But props to the camera guys out there on the lead boat getting us all the shots. And as we look like we're heading to the top turn buoy there of buoy number 4, and buckle down your seats, boys. I think things are about to get exciting. I think we're going to see this left-hand turn, and I think we're going to see T2 just put the hammer down as soon as he gets around this buoy here.
Yeah, and I think this would be a good time for the other paddlers in the pack to start attacking, because what you don't want is T2 out front with clean water on this leg of the race, because if there's anything you can do, be in front of him so you can stick with him once he comes by, or at least don't put him at an advantage right at this buoy. But here they go, coming around the buoy, a big left turn here as they're going to head straight downwind. Let's see if they can distance themselves. Already a board length there, and T2 is going to just start pouring it on here. Looks like Slater Trout trying to hang with him.
Yeah, maybe Lincoln Jews in second there. I'm not sure, but it's so hard to tell. But and I was surprised. It looked like Casper's technique in the last spot there in that group. So, look now, this is it. Now there is no wash riding now. Everyone's spreading out. You're on your own. This is it. Do you want to be the world champ? Do you want to be second? Do you want to be third? Or do you want to finish 10th? Right now, T2 has just put the hammer down, and he's got 3 board lengths on the second place and another 4 board lengths back to third. So, this is where it comes down. This is where it comes down to what you've got in your own, gas tank left, and wow.
And look at the pack there, the 3rd through 11th, and those guys are just sprinting, and you can just see the fervent nature of their strokes in the distance and how quickly they're going. And much of them look like they're paddling much quicker than T2. Just has a really solid, smooth stroke there, trying to extend those glides. So it's not about getting on a glide and just sitting back and ruddering.
Here we
it's
go.
about
It's a great
getting
shot
on the
here.
glide.
Slater Trout on the inside line.
Yep.
On the Stars and Stripes board. Not sure if he's on the right line, but looks like there's a weird angle here, but looks like he's gone to the lead. And then T2 on the outside. Lincoln Jews was going with him. The pack is scattered, but as you can see, there are some little glides there, and they're going to milk these as Slater just takes a little rest there. And we're going to pan back here and see, and that looks like Lincoln and T2. Very different lines here. It looks like Slater's taking an inside line. So the pack is definitely scattered out, and we're going to see in about 10 or 15 minutes, but from this angle here, it still looks like T2 has the lead on the outside. Lincoln Jews in 2nd place. Slater Trout in 3rd place. Chris has just relayed back that the 2nd place from last year, Casper, is struggling right now at the back of this pack. The heat has got to be getting to these guys. The humidity, the heat. Did they take enough water? But right now, all they're thinking about is getting to this bottom mark around buoy 5, and they're trying to get set themselves up for this last headwind upwind battle.
And will it be possible to close that gap on T2? It will be up to, looks like the Australian and the American to close this gap and possibly take the gold. But right now, T2 stretching it out a few inches with every single stroke there as he glides his way towards the bottom of the course, the far south end, for a big turn at the number 5 buoy. And big left-hand turn is going to bring them back almost straight upwind with a bit of a quartering chop coming over their right shoulder. So it's going to be a lot of paddling on the right for this last leg before they turn right on the 6th buoy and come straight into the finish.
Okay, so it looks like T2 is actually very wide. So it looks like Slater on the inside has the better line. T2 has gone wide on the outside. So, but T2 could be. The wind is clocking more towards a little touch more onshore, right shoulder. So, potentially he's just going to, be able to surf the bumps a little bit further in. But it's very deceiving, this angle, as we get a nice view from the back here as the field's scattered. We have Toby, Vinicius from Brazil. We have Javier from Mexico on the middle line. Slater's way on the inside. T2's very wide. They're saying the field is just all over the place. It's scattered. So... who's going to have the best line? Who's going to have the run into that buoy number 5? So all will be seen in the next few minutes. But as we see, Geordie Mercer, she may be listening to us there right now, and yeah, she's watching online on her iPhone. G'day, Geordie. Lincoln Jews is in 2nd place, doing us proud. So listening intently there. But we have Dylan Frick from South Africa. The Brazilian, we have the other Australian, we have the other American, Ollie Shilson from the UK. There's just everyone is right there. So it's we're just seeing right now another shot of the field, but really does look like the top 2 have spread themselves out, Dan.
That's right, and it's not over till it's over. If Tituan or Lincoln Deuce has a bad turn, that's going to give Slater and the rest of the field a chance to catch up there. So this turn we saw is very critical yesterday, as we saw Lena come around. Shaq was making up some ground there, but Shaq didn't have quite the turn that Lena did. That's really sealed the deal for Lena there. So if Tituan can have a great turn, I think he's going to make it really difficult for 3rd and 4th. But it looks like Lincoln Dews right now closing the gap a bit. A nice long run right there, closing the gap a few board lengths. So that's a great shot from our ISA camera crew. Coming off the beach, actually, with a 400 mil lens. So we've got a good, crisp view there from probably a 1.5 kilometers away. So looking at that view right here again.
Yeah, nice. Lincoln definitely has closed the gap. And then he's going to want to try and get onto his tail definitely for the upwind leg, as we see Lincoln. Wow, what a race from Link. He's just being nice in that pack there. Conserve the energy, and he's got a lot of downwind experience. He's been down the Molokai Channel many a times already as a young kid, so showing his downwind prowess now. As we see Slater Trout on screen there, Slater looks like he's starting to labor a little bit. He's looking like it's taking its toll on him. Can he just find the extra reserves and dig deep to try and get USA back up to the front? But as it stands right now, T2 from France and Lincoln Jews from Australia out in front and trying to make that run for buoy number 5 to make that last headwind leg.
And as you can see, the flags there on our buoys on the beach, they're dealing with about maybe a 5 to 10 mile an hour breeze there. It's about 8 or 9 knots of wind, so that's going to be a factor going back upwind at the very last leg. So you've got to have a little bit of gas left in the tank. This would be a great time to be taking on a little bit of nutrition and maybe some water if you need it, because you're getting some glides. So this might give you a little bit of time to deal with your water, getting some fluids in your system, and you can do that when you start to catch some of these glides where you don't necessarily need to be paddling.
Yeah, and it looks like T2's just gapped a little bit. Look, it looks like first, second, third, and fourth are all spread out in equal lengths right there. So, I still think it's T2, the Frenchman, out in first with Lincoln in second, Slater in third, and in fourth place. I just can't make that out. I think it could be Eric Terrian in fourth place. So the French could potentially be in first and fourth. But thinking back to the overall standings here. Australia being in second place, America in third. That would be just a slight advantage back to the Aussies again for the overall, just being just one person counting in the this overall race.
That's right, and as you take a look there, the paddlers just coming into view on the far right of your screen, your live view from Lake Nicaragua here at the 2014 ISA World Stand-Up and Paddleboard Championships. My name's Dan Gavir. I'm joined here with Jamie Mitchell. We've had Eric Parker on the line. We're getting some more updates from Eric. And what do you got there, Jamie?
Chris Parker. Yeah, it looks like he said it's Slater, Lincoln, and T2 in front. Eric's in fourth, and it's Vinny from Brazil in fifth. Javier, and then Toby in sixth and seventh. Casper's dying. Chuck Glenn is struggling. He's in eighth place. Fernando is struggling in ninth, and Casper's in 10th. So Slater's way on the inside. T2 is on the lead on the outside, and Lincoln Jews is in second. So, look, this is not over because these guys have to punch back up into the wind here. So it's still going to be a battle of who's the strongest and who's got the most left in the gas tank. But right now, can T2, can he maintain this gap upwind? We've seen how good in downwind he is, or a little bit, with the chop. But can he maintain that grinding up into the wind?
And we know Slater's good into the wind, absolutely. And I'm sure Lincoln Deuce is no slouch into the wind too. So T2's definitely going to be looking over his shoulder as he rounds that buoy and as they make their way towards this final leg of the men's long distance race right here on Lake Nicaragua.
Yeah, as we see fourth grind up to looks like Eric has caught up to Slater there, and then Slater trying to hang on for third. These are the four right now. They look like they're going to fight it out for the medals, but in what place is it going to be? Who's going to be gold? Who's going to get silver? Who's going to be bronze and copper? As we see Eric Terrian make a move on the outside, big burst of speed straight past Slater Trout. So Slater Trout moves back to fourth. And the two French, they're inspired right now and potentially wanting to go 1-2. So, huge effort from these guys. And right now, just grinding it out as we welcome back Bo Hodge back to the commentary box. Bo.
Oh, man. The drama of this race, you couldn't have scripted even better. I mean, it is living up to the race from yesterday, even better, tenfold today.
Yeah, it's sort of gone to plan, hasn't it? We expected the big pack, and then again we expected it to break up. And I mean, not 1 second were we around that top turn, and everything just spread out.
Yeah, and the winds have pulled back this afternoon from this morning.
Totally. They had the gnarly headwind this morning, and now the gap. You can just see 5th back to 10th. They've really started to hurt. Chris reporting back that Fernando, Casper, and Chuck all look like they're really struggling out there. So Dylan's hanging in there. Apparently in the prone, it's Shane Scoggins, Sam from New Zealand, Reese and David Sands from Spain in the top 4. Back to the stand-up, and T2 is flying away. Apparently it looks like Slater's gone too far to the inside. We have Vinny in 5th, Toby in 6th, and Javier from Mexico in 7th.
Yeah, so you knew that pack of 10 was going to break up somewhere, and T2 decided, hey, this is where I'm going to win the race. This is where I saw Lena win the race. This is where I'm going to win the race.
Yeah, and look, wow, the biggest move right now, again, is Eric Therian. He's now caught up to, about to get up to Lincoln Juice from Australia, and he's just went straight past Slater, and Slater's dropping back further away into 4th place. So as we see the Brazilians on screen there, cheering for their man, Vinicius, I think, Vinny. We'll just go with Vinny right now. But, Vinny's been very impressive as well. I haven't had the chance to meet him, but heard good things about the Brazilian paddler. So, as we are approaching the final, bottom mark here. And,
number 5.
Mark number 5. They're going to left-hand turn around this. And then, I tell you what, Eric Therian is the man that could grind their way back up to T2. Eric loves to paddle upwind. He's strong, and he potentially could bring Lincoln Jews back up to T2. And if that's the case, if it comes down to a sprint finish, my money's on Lincoln Jews.
1 hour, 31 minutes, 25 seconds into this race, so we were calling around an hour 40 to an hour 50 finish for the men, so they're right on track on prediction.
Yeah, definitely. You can't really go off what the girls did yesterday, different conditions, but as we see, T2 is around buoy 1. It looks like nearly Eric or Lincoln Jews, but Slater. Well, it looks like Slater is falling back. He's gone too far. It looks like Toby Cracknell in 4th. So we have the 2 French and the 2 Aussies, it looks like, in 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. USA in 5. Ollie's back down in 13th. Frederico's in 12th. Dylan's in 11th. Casper's in 10th. Chuck's in 9th. Fernando's in 8th. Javier is in 7th. And Toby's in 6th.
We've got Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com. Chris, can you hear us? Give us an update on buoy number 5.
G'day, Bo and Jamie. This is an amazing race. It was the calm before the storm in the flats, I believe. As soon as we rounded buoy number 4, the field absolutely scattered. And taking advantage of it better than anybody was the dark horse from France, Titouan Pouillot. He is a downwind machine, and he pulled away from the entire field all the way down to buoy number 5, which they've just rounded. Tito has a 50-metre lead over Eric Therian at the moment. It's France, 1-2. Lincoln Jews from Australia, very brave in 3rd. He's not far behind Eric. Vinny Martins from Brazil, amazing effort. He's sitting in 4th right now as they start this upwind leg. Slater Trout, he took an extremely inside line, almost too far inside. He had to double back to get to the buoy. He's sitting in 5th. Behind him, we can see Chucky Glenn and Javier from Mexico. Behind that, Fernando Stala and Casper are really struggling. I thought Casper might be able to get up there in this one, but he's hit the wall. But at the moment, it's all Titouan and Eric from France.
An amazing breakaway. Talk about how T2 broke away from that pack of 10.
We could see it coming the whole race. France wanted to control the race. They wanted to be in the front. They wanted to set the pace. They couldn't shake any of the guys in the flat. There was a train of 11 guys, and then even Ollie and Federico from Italy caught up. So there was actually 13 guys as they exited the islands. But we just knew, you could sense that the bumps were coming, and as soon as they rounded buoy number 4, it was going to scatter. And that's exactly what happened. The field broke straight away around that buoy. Titouan went extremely wide, almost like he was going out to sea looking for better bumps. He obviously found them because straight away he gapped the field, and at the moment he's got about 60 metres on Eric, who at one point just a few minutes ago was down in 5th or 6th, so he's fought really hard Going upwind, Eric is very strong. He's probably the only guy that can catch T2 right now. Lincoln Jews and Vinnie Munns are fighting hard. Slater Trout, Toby Cracknell and Javier are just coming past the boat in 5th, 6th and 7th. They've got about 50 metres to make up on Vinicius Martins from Brazil if they want a medal. But at the moment it was T2-1. The French have done a perfect race. They had two of the strongest guys in the field and they've played it perfectly.
And Chris, do you think Eric can catch back up to T2-1? I mean, he loves the grind, and if he can, is Lincoln close enough to jump on his tail to bring himself back up, or is it?
Yeah, Lincoln's actually working pretty hard to get onto Eric's tail right now. There's a stiff headwind bump, but Lincoln is probably only 3 board lengths behind Eric. Eric's working hard. I'd say he's made a few board lengths on T2, but T2-1 knows how to paddle upwind by the looks of it because he's not getting much ground. At the moment, I can't see anyone other than Eric or Lincoln catching T2. Vinicius Martins from Brazil is fighting bravely in 4th, but he's looking pretty tired. Behind that, we're actually seeing Slater, Toby, and Javier work together in a train right now. They've got to pull themselves up about 10 board lengths to get into medal contention. But yeah, at the moment, T2's just made a surge. I don't know if he found a reverse downwind bump or something, but he just pulled another 5 or 6 metres on Eric. T2 is looking really strong. Eric is digging in hard. He's a workhorse. Lincoln's right on his tail, but it's all T2 at the moment.
Talk about the conditions today to yesterday. Is it windier yesterday? Is it better for these guys today? Tell us about the conditions on this last leg.
It's fairly similar. I'd say the wind is slightly more from the south, so it's probably more of a stiff headwind right now. But the wind is, it's roughly the same speed that we saw Shaq and Lena deal with. And I know talking to Shaq after the race, she said this upwind section that the guys are on right now was one of the worst things she's ever done. So the guys are struggling right now.
And how far away from the finish line do you think we are, Chris? We have a couple of kilometres left to go. What's the distance?
I'd say that T2 is about 1.5 k's. He's just passing the pier, which you can see about a kilometre up. With the pro and paddle update, if you'd like that.
Yeah, let's hear it.
All right, Reece Burrows and Rory Chapman are setting the pace for Australia. They're 1 and 2. 3rd is Sam Shergold. 4th is David Sands from Spain. 5th is Shane Scoggins. I can actually see out the window on the other side of the boat that the prone guys are heading down towards that buoy number 5. There's a bit of a gap. It looks like the Aussies might have made a break. That's the top 5. Australia, New Zealand, Spain, and USA in the prone.
Well, Chris, thanks a lot for the update. We're going to let you go right now. We're getting a little bit of feedback, but a great report. There's Chris Parker live from the boat, supracer.com, and what an exciting race. And we're seeing Australia leading in the prone paddleboard, Shane Scoggins in 5th place. We're seeing a surprise from New Zealand with Sam Shergold. I mean, there's drama in that race too, but let's talk about the drama that we're seeing on screen right now in Tituan Puyo.
Yeah, T2-1. Well, I'm going to have to go meet this guy, I think. He's apparently just, he came out of the blue. He lives on New Caledonia, not far from Australia, actually. He came over to Australia, apparently did one of the races there, took everyone down, took Jake Jensen, Kelly Margetts, took all the big guys down, won that race, and then a bunch of guys went back over to a race in New Caledonia. Also, he went and beat Eric Terrien in France, which no one has done in a long time. So you started to hear these whispers about this kid, and then you hear where's his background. It comes from OC1, so it's like a Travis Grant-esque type paddler, a Danny Ching type paddler. So this kid is here. He's here. He's no longer a myth. He's the real deal. And as we see right now, he is out in front. And to me, unless a UFO crashes on top of him, I don't think he's going to get taken down.
Well, we saw a broken paddle earlier. Anything is possible in this race from the South African. Ethan broke his paddle between markers number 3 and number 4. So things could happen in this last leg. But talking with you, Jamie, and talking with Chris Parker early in the week, Chris Parker brought up his name and saying he is my dark horse. Do not be surprised if you see Tito win this race.
Yeah, and he looks strong, and I mean, what an amazing race. This has lived up to all expectations. Anyone watching back at home, and for all the people that didn't come and countries that never didn't show, this is an amazing event, and these are the world-class athletes, some of the best paddlers in the world right now, and T2 is just grinding upwind, and what an amazing performance. So he's one to look for in the future, and France has come back with a vengeance today. They've obviously been very disappointed with the disqualification in the relay, so they want to come out and make a statement, and a statement they have being in first and second right now.
Well, they're in ninth place in the team standings. Today is going to show an upgrade in their point rankings, and they're definitely going to go for possibly the bronze or the copper medal for the team standings. But this is your race that you have won in the past 2 years. Look at the competition out in the lead group. I mean, it has really grown. The world's best are starting to come to the ISA World Championships here in Nicaragua.
Oh, yeah. I mean, on any given day, no matter who is here today, this young kid, I don't think anyone would have really, got close to beating him. So he's shown that he's a world-class paddler, and he's actually pulling away from the second and third place getters. And as I saw in that other pulled back view there, it looked like the paddler from Brazil, Vinicius, is out on your outside in the yellow. Looks like he's pulled a swift move to maybe potentially try and go past Lincoln and Eric, but without having them jump on his tail. So very hard to see from this view whether or not he's actually in line with those guys, or Lincoln and Eric are still in second and third. But what a great race, and second and third and fourth is still up for grabs, and it could come down to a sprint finish. So as we see there, Lincoln Jews from Noosa Heads on the Sunshine Coast. I know his dad Jeff will be watching back at home right now. Jeff, so hi to you, mate, and I know you're cheering on Link, but he's grinding it out now, doing Australia proud with trying to get in between the two Frenchmen, so to stop a clean sweep.
And we see Chuck Glenn and Slater Trout for Team USA. They're trying to make a surge behind them.
Yeah, Slater Trout in fifth place. He's hanging in there. Chuck Glenn in the white as well, as we see some of the prone paddlers coming down the downwind leg here. Looks like they've spread out, but it's the day of the French as we see it right now, and what a 1 hour 41 minutes and 40 seconds. So as we see Vinny on the outside from Brazil grinding away. So what an exciting race! It's just been from start to finish. We had Fernando go out off the start. Casper was right there. Then we had the unfortunate snap paddle. From the South African paddler, then Dylan Frick making up the gap, and it's just been non-stop.
And we've seen so many stories within the story. Yesterday, Brazil medaling for the first time in the SUP distance with Barbara Brazil. Now, Vinny Martins from Brazil, possibly in that medal range. So Team Brazil has upped their game. Team Spain has upped their game in the paddleboard division. And obviously, Team France bringing up the top guns here on the last leg.
Totally. Brazil, very impressive. Spain, very impressive. And, these countries are just stepping it up. And, it's no longer, USA. It's no longer just USA and Hawaii or Australia. The Europeans are coming out in force. Like Tahitians are out in force. I mean, we haven't even seen the Tahitian paddlers. I mean, you throw them into the mix, oh my God, we have a whole nother level of competitors.
Well, you're talking about OC1 paddling. If people don't know what OC1 paddling is, a one-man outrigger. Usually the outrigger that you see in Molokai to Oahu is a six-man. There's developed series, world championship races down in Tahiti each and every year for the OC1, OC2, OC3. They have all different types of categories and disciplines for them too. But we're seeing Danny Ching from an OC background, Battle of the Paddle winner. We're seeing Titian Puyo right here, OC background. So a lot of outrigger Hawaiian paddling tradition coming into play in the SUP. You yourself paddle in the OC races too.
Yeah, I've paddled the OC6 a bunch, and not so much the OC1, but I love paddling in the six-man. And these guys have such a it's just a matter of getting on the balance, and that the technique is down and just a longer paddle. But I mean, getting back to the Tahitians, like wow, if those guys get their act together. Watch out the rest of the world.
And we've already seen the 17-year-old win the gold medal in SUP surfing and Oa already this past week. And so, if they came with a full team, if Hawaii came with a full team, if Danny Ching was here for Team USA, and if, even Team Australia is, if you came back into the competition, I mean, Travis Grant, Kelly Margetts, I mean, the ISA could be seeing something very spectacular next year.
I'm jumping out of my skin right now. Like, I wish I was there in the mix. I want to be racing these guys right now. And it's hard sitting here watching this, but But you know, it's you know, hopefully I can get back in the mix. But you know, this has been such a great event, and this is just shows it's just a bit more of a feeling to it, wearing those country colours and you know, going for your country. You dig deep, you find that little bit extra. You know, as these guys are finding, you know, Lincoln, he knows that the French is in first. He knows he's got the other Frenchman behind him. He doesn't want the French to go 1-2. So Lincoln digging in and doing a great job. And, you know, what a talent he is. But T2, what an amazing job he has done. You know, looks like he's riding the starboard there, and he is just powering away, and, you know, that nice technique and just grinding it away. So, not too far away from the finish line. You know, I'd imagine we're only about 5 minutes away from him crossing the line. And, you know, the race for second and third is going to be on here. You know, is Eric going to try and make a move on Lincoln? Is Lincoln going to give him any room to move? But I will give Lincoln the, you know, the jump and the run up the beach.
So there you go. Titouan Pouillot from France. Looks like he's going to break the string of Aussie wins, because obviously Jamie Mitchell is here commentating instead of competing. Jamie, the two-time winner here at the distance race at the ISA World Championships. Second place in 2012 was Travis Grant. Last year we saw Casper Steinfath take second place. So it's great to see these new names. It's great to see the new talent come out of the woodwork, and it's great to have the world's best at the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. And we're not going to forget about our prone guys. Once we get through with our lead pack here, we're going to continue with our broadcast of not only the prone, but the entire field here at Lake Nicaragua. And we're getting to a close finish here. Time right now, 1 minute, 46 seconds unofficial time, as we're watching our leader, Titouan Pouillot from France.
Yeah, Titian coming to the finish line. You know, wow. You know, I'm sort of bummed that France got knocked out of the relay. Now, you know, with this performance today, that puts them right back up there. And as the standings right now, Australia in second and USA back in sixth. That's huge too for the team standings right now if it stays like that.
Yeah, so Australia is still trying to defend their gold medal performance from 2012, 2013, and another defending champion team coming in for 2014. But right now, our props, you're looking at the possible winner here, and here we go, the battle. This is second and third, and that's Lincoln and Eric.
Yeah, Lincoln just needs to keep the inside. Eric's on the outside. He's going to try and surge, but Lincoln needs to hold on the inside. He cannot, as we see Eric go for it just there, but Lincoln cannot give in to the inside here. He needs to hold his line, and if he can, I think he can hold on for second. But the man, the myth, and the legend.
Well, no myth anymore.
No myth.
He is now coming to reality, and we welcome Titouan Pouillot from France, from New Caledonia, and a lot of great ocean sports athletes have come out of New Caledonia in the windsurfing and the kite surfing, and even in the surfing venue over in the ocean sports world.
Yeah, and what a huge effort, and Lincoln has held off. Eric's looking a little bit tired there. He's starting to look around. Is he happy with third? He knows that his French teammates got the win, and but you know, Eric won't give up. So Lincoln's going to look like he's going to hold his line to the inside of that can and get the jump on Eric. So as we see, Titouan Pouillot from France, New Caledonia, Frenchman. He's going to convincingly win the 2014 ISA World Long Distance Stand-Up Paddleboard Championship.
And we're going to have a race for second place here. Eric's not just going to give in and take third place quietly. Lincoln Dews, he's going to be a sprinter. He's going to be a runner. But let's give our props right now for Titouan Pouillot from France. Now coming in, he will be the 2014 ISA World Champion gold medal winner representing Team France. Right now a time of 1:48:32 and counting. This is unofficial time.
Yeah, and Lincoln and Eric going for it as well. Lincoln just cutting across Eric there. As we see Titu going to be very, very happy. The French team are going to be stoked after their disappointment of yesterday. And congratulations to the Frenchman. What an awesome performance. He's here to stay, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the world of stand-up paddling.
1:48:59 unofficial ISA president Fernando Aguirre welcome him in. Look at Team France. Viva la France.
Yeah, good on them. French deserve it. They obviously had a plan. they had two of the strongest paddlers in the field, and it's all come to fruition. And as we see Titu Wampiu holding up that French flag, can we try and see this battle for second and third coming up? And it looks like Lincoln Jews is going to get that. He's not going to give that up anymore. So looks like we're going to see Team Australia, Lincoln Jews, finish off in second place here. And what a great effort from the young man from Noosa Heads.
And look at Titu. He is excited. He is stoked. He is now a world champion. Look at Lincoln. And you got to feel proud. Last year, he was the winner of the long distance and the prone. Now he goes gold to gold, but in two different disciplines.
Yeah, it just goes to show the talent of this young kid. And he's super stoked. And I know everyone back at Noosa will be stoked. So congratulations, Link. And Eric Terrian will finish in third. The French will get first and third. So what a big effort from those guys.
So unofficial time of 1 hour and 50 minutes on the dot. So a full minute ahead was T2. And there's Eric Terrian. And he has been an amazing athlete. Third in 2012, sixth in 2013, and now third again. So this will be his third bronze medal in this discipline.
Yeah, and wow. Eric's he's a grinder. He just knows how to grind it out. As we see Vinny from, looks like Brazil, I think. He's going to get the copper medal.
Vinny Martins from Brazil, and what a performance. Barbara Brazil yesterday, third place for Team Brazil. Brazil showing 2 medals in the distance race for SUP, and that is unheard of from this team.
Yeah, Brazil, huge step up. And, oh, wow, here we go. Slater Trout. We have Toby Cracknell on the right sprinting. This is for 5th, 6th, and 7th. Looks like Slater will get up and he'll finish 5th. Toby sprinting for 6th. And Javier from Mexico will finish in 7th place on the. So what a wow sprint finishing at the end of a 1 hour and 50 minutes. That's got to be a brutal way to finish a race like that.
So 10 minutes difference between the men and women finishers in the distance race. That's quite remarkable.
Yeah, the guys just surging. As we see Slater Trout on screen there, I think their teammate here, Chucky Glenn, he's going to come into, I think, potentially 8th spot. Is that Bo?
Correct, 8th place. And Team USA, good showing, 5th and 8th place. 2 of their paddlers in the top 10.
That's a huge effort, and this was more than just a paddling race today. There's been a lot of heat, and a lot of headwind, a lot of side wind, some surges. So, can't wait to go and chat to all the boys here and see what they thought of the course and how hard it was. As Jimmy Terrell there, looking after his Team USA. As we see Fernando Stala, the pace setter, upwind. Did that hurt him? Was that pace too fast? Did it come back to haunt him at the end of the race?
Fernando Stala, a bronze winner last year down in Miraflores, coming in this year 9th place, but still always one to contend with. He won the Battle of the Paddle in Rio last year.
Yeah, Fernando, representing Mexico, great representative for his country, and he's always up there in the top 10. So
France, 2 in the top 10, actually 2 in the top 3. Australia, 2nd and 6th. USA, 5th and 8th. Mexico, 7th and 9th. So these teams are really working together.
Yeah. Just goes to show the strength of those countries. When you can have 2 paddlers in the top 10, that's a really, really big effort. As we see, looks like Dylan Frick right there from South Africa.
144, that is Dylan Frick.
And then Casper right in behind him. On the far left is Ollie. Looks like Ollie Shilston from the UK. Big effort from Ollie. I know he's had food poisoning. These guys are going to battle to the end. Casper looks like he's had a really tough day out there. Dylan, all that hard work that he did to try and catch that group, looks like that's taken its toll on him as well. So, but big effort, these guys. A big a spread of only 5 minutes really from the front, the first guy through to the top 10. And that could be potentially the Italian paddler back there as well, rounding out, the top 11 maybe.
So looking at Dylan Frey, I bet Dylan doesn't even know what happened to Ethan behind him.
No, he'll be disappointed his teammate that happened to him. But we're going to have a sprint finish maybe with Ollie and Casper here. Oh, it looked like Ollie just fell over. But Dylan Frick running up potentially in 9th or 10th place.
10th place, Jamie.
10th place. Casper's going to get 11th place. And looks like the Italian, Ollie Shilston from the UK. Big shout out to Ollie. He's, like I said, been sick most of the week. And
here we go. This is Federico Benitolo. He'll come in 12th place.
Yeah, Federico. And then the 13th, the top 13 we would have seen would have been the kid
Ethan
from South Africa. So, unfortunately, he snapped his blade. But, what a great performance from Italy.
And we've seen Leonardo Favalante in the juniors of Italy. Surfs a lot in France and around the world. So Italy coming into the ocean sports world, even in SUP racing too.
Yeah, huge effort. And, I know the Italians are hopefully watching back there and cheering on their man. So looking forward to seeing an update on the prone paddlers now. We haven't seen too much of them. But as we see another paddler just making their turn, as we potentially will see the prone paddlers up on screen coming up soon, hopefully. And it looks like it could potentially be
got a two-man race from the boat cam that we're seeing on a second screen. So we're going to try to get you updated, but we're trying to paint the picture that's what's happening here at Lake Nicaragua. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships.
And
let's go down with Jody Nelson and check out our winner. Congratulations to Titian Puyol.
Thank you, Bo. Yeah, down here with Eric and Tito, Team France. And you guys had a rough race. Tito, you held the lead for a majority of the race. You feel like that put a little extra, pressure on you and took a little more out of you?
Yeah, there is many people who draft me, and nobody let me go in the draft, so I have to open it for a long time. Eric helped me in the draft. We do a very good race, both in the team, and I know if I was first for the downwind, I'm good in downwind, so that's why my goal to be the first as a boy for the downwind, and after for the last line, never stopped paddle, and that's good.
Now, Eric, you fell in quite a few times. Can you just tell us what was going on out there?
Yeah, I hit a few rocks with the fin. But it was all right because the draft train was going actually pretty slow because none of the teams they wanted to take the lead. So T2 and I, we tried to do some job, and everyone was happy to draft behind. Then I did my share of drafting as well. And we were waiting for the downwind because we knew we better than the other teams. We had a try in the first. There was a small downwind leg, so we just tested the whole fleet, and we see that we were good in downwind. So then we just waited to the other leg of downwind, and myself I hit the wall then upwind, but I was so stoked for Tituan, and yeah, we did a good team race. It's Vive la France!
Tito, how did you guys determine what your strategy was going to be as a team prior to the race?
I don't understand.
How did you guys determine what your strategy was going to be prior to the race, you and Eric?
C'est quoi? Je comprends rien.
Well, we studied the course, and I'm lucky because I know all the fleet, but all the fleet doesn't know T2. So the guys, for example, they look at me more than T2. And we've been playing with this a little bit as well. So that was cool.
Well, congratulations, Team France, taking 1 and 2. Boys, we'll send it back to you in the booth.
Thank you very much, and congratulations to Titian Puyol and Eric Terry. And we want to update you with our prone paddlers. We can see that our New Zealand paddler, Sam Sheargold, is in first place, but not too far behind. Right on his tail is Reese Burrows from Australia, as we see more of our SUP paddlers coming in, and we're going to keep you intact. Time unofficially 1:58.32, and here we go. Looks like Reese is now on his left shoulder and trying to make a move.
Yeah, this is going to come down to a sprint finish for sure. We have Reese Burrows from Australia on the left-hand side of the screen, and Sam Sheargold from New Zealand. And Sam doing an amazing job there. And as we knew, New Zealand, have a great pedigree in surf life saving background and prone paddling. So looks like
Aaron Rowe from Great Britain.
From Great Britain coming across the line.
Unofficially possibly 17th place. I'm trying to keep track of everybody. And there's Team France. Viva la France. They're very happy. Definitely going to move out of that 9th place spot with the showing here today for the men in the long distance race. And still have yet the paddleboarders. We know Antoine Depero, the world champion ISA gold medalist in SUP surfing from 2012 and last year, a longboard world class win. And there we go. Shergold in first for New Zealand and Burrows in second for Australia. So this could come down to a running race finish for the paddleboarders after 18K.
Yeah, this is going to come down. Reese needs to not be resting right now. He needs to get around this buoy, and he needs to try and get right. As we see Sam just go for it, and here it is. This is it. This is going to be it. It's going to come down to a sprint finish. They're both going for it. Reese is going to try and get in his tail, but he's going to have to come around the outside of him at some stage and pull over that sidewash, which is very hard to do. So as I speak, he's going to try and do that right now. And as we see third place competitor coming around, potentially Rory. But the first two guys here, wow, they're both looking like they're tired as they should be after 18 kilometres. But don't stop, boys. Keep going. This is not the time to stop. We need these guys to go. Reese is laying down. Now he's on his knees. Sam Shergold from New Zealand. Reese Burrows from Australia. Neck and neck. This doesn't get any tighter.
In third place, that is Rory Chapman from Australia. So Australia 2 in the top 3 as we see another SUP. And these guys are out of it. They are exhausted. They can't continue the cadence, but they are neck and neck. They are coming into the finish. It will come down to the run, Jamie.
Yeah, this will come down to a sprint finish. But who's going to get off earliest? Who's going to, because there's a little bit of a undulation in the bottom there. But these guys are neck and neck, toe to toe. They're coming to the finish. What a great shot. Just the rating now is up. Sam Shergold has just put the hammer down. Reese Burrows is going for it as well. And wow. It's going to come down to a sprint finish. They're up and running. Reese Burrows has got up first. Sam is still... he's thrown his hat away. Sam Shergold, is going to get second. Reese Burrows is going to take the win. What a great effort. So Australia looks like it's going to take the win. Sam is going to grab second from New Zealand. Anzac tradition right there. That's the Anzacs fighting for each other, Australia and New Zealand. So, wow, what a race. 18 kilometres and then comes down to like 5 seconds. But congratulations to both guys. That looked like such a tough race.
And look at Sam. He is spent. I mean, he tried to give it his all on the turn buoy on the inside. Then all of a sudden, he was out of breath. And then Reese he didn't take advantage of that. He just wanted to keep pace to pace, shoulder to shoulder. Why was that?
Look, just I think they knew it was going to come down to the sprint finish, and you just sort of got to like feed off each other's energy. What's going on as we see Rory Chapman from Australia coming across in third place. So first and third for the Australians, and I'm pretty sure that Shane Scoggins could be. I know it looks like the Spanish David Sands. Yeah, David Sands from Spain. Looks like he potentially could be in fourth place. And then, we haven't seen Shane Scoggins yet. But
and it always is. You can't see the number as they come across. So, unfortunately, we cannot broadcast that finisher because you can see his bib number was on the opposite side. And look at these guys. Look at Australia celebrating right there as they're coming in. And what a fight to the finish that was. And Reese and Shane. Excuse me. We're going to throw down to Jody Nelson. Jody Nelson has our gold medal and world champion. Take it away, Jody.
Thank you, Bo. Yeah, down here with Reese and Reese Burrows out of Australia. Tell us about that race. It looked like it was a pretty brutal one.
Yeah, it was really, really hard. Through the islands, just no wind. I felt like I was just going to get heat stroke or something. You're just dying. But once I got out in the open ocean or open lake, downwind and into the wind, just a lot cooler and felt better.
Now, a bit of a battle between you and New Zealand, which is something that runs deep in your veins as an Australian. Tell us how important that was for you to win against Team New Zealand.
Yeah, I was definitely watching the New Zealand coming into the race. I thought they might be a bit of a dark horse, and definitely were. No, it's good to race someone so close to Australia. Yeah.
And what was, the toughest part of that race? Was it the length, the heat? Is there a certain spot on the race that you just thought maybe you weren't going to make it?
Definitely the heat between the islands. I didn't think I was going to hold the front pack. It's hard to breathe. I got the long skins on, which didn't help. So yeah, pretty hot.
Well, congratulations to Reese Burrows, a gold medalist here at the distance race for the ISA World Stand-Up Paddleboard and Paddleboard Championships. Boys, back to you in the booth.
Well, Reese holds Australia very proud, very strong. It was Brad Gold in 2012. It was Lincoln Dews in 2013 on the prone distance paddleboard. And now Reese Burrows takes Australia gold 3 years in a row. Looks like we have possibly Shane Scoggins coming in here. Jamie?
Yeah, that is Shane Scoggins from the US of A. Great effort from Shane. He's been a great paddler for many years, and he's coming in 5th place. And good effort. Brutal race. You can just see everyone is exhausted. It looks like the heat really has got to everyone. And props to everyone that finishes this race, because I've been out there paddling myself, and it is really, really hot on the water.
So Shane keeping USA in the top 5, and it's going to be a big day. Not a medal for Shane Scoggins. He was a medalist back in the 2012 event as a copper medal. And we're going to go back down to the finish line area with Jody Nelson.
Thank you, Bo. Yeah, down here with Casper Seinfeld, our defending gold medalist from the technical race last year. I heard you guys talking. Give us the play-by-play as you guys were, in that pack from the beginning that was leading.
It was a crazy race from the start. We had that great upwind leg, and it was all tactics. Fernando did a great job pulling us over the lake in the beginning, and coming through the islands. There's so much tactic going into drafting and taking the lead at the right time. There's a few sections that split us up with wind, and maybe I wasn't as strong there, but it was a great race all the way, and the finish line was just crazy.
Now, Fernando, you did hold the pack in the beginning. Do you feel like if you could do that over again, you'd do it the same, or do you feel like that took a lot out of you?
No, I would do it again. I think the beginning, it's not the most important part. It's how you finish and how you maintain in the middle of the race. And I think we both were doing good. We were always on the lead or right on the top 3-4 places. And at the end, it's just, everyone split from behind and did 3 trains. And then the one that was in front of us, the guy that was in front of us, just dropped all the way to the back. And we couldn't do anything about it. And then they did around the buoy where it was a downwind, and they just took off. So from that point on, I felt once, and it was enough to get a gap. And it's hard to, gain that ground as soon as they get the downwind before you. But, that's what it is. It's racing, You play your card. Sometimes it works out. Sometimes it doesn't. All the athletes that pack are strong. They're all going to take gold, I think. And, well, it wasn't our day.
And Casper, just give us your insight on what your thoughts were on the French team and how they work together.
Well, there's a lot of tactics going on between teams, and especially France and America were really working together. T2 and Eric, you could see when they were controlling the train, they could slow it down if one had to catch up. I think that played a big crucial role in conserving energy. And, U.S., Chucklin and Slater Trout had a great teamwork going. And I wish I could have had my teammate out there, but like Fernando said, it's not always your day, and there'll be other races.
All right, well, great sportsmanship here. Congratulations, you guys, and it was a great race to watch. We'll send it back to you guys in the booth.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations. 9th and 11th place. They were our first 2 leaders leading out from the start, and that's how they're finishing. We see number 183 finishing up. We'd like to acknowledge him. That is our Peruvian paddler, Luis Escardido.
And Dean Lorenz, I think, from the US of A coming across the line.
So unofficially, that was 8th place. Dean Lorenz, 8th. Okay, we're trying to keep up. We can tell you Reese Burrows' unofficial time on our clock, 2:01:39. Now you subtract 5 minutes from that, so about 1:56:39 possibly is his finish time. So let's write that down. Because I believe they started 5 minutes after. They could have started 2 minutes after. Second place, Sam Shergold from New Zealand. And what an amazing talent he is, and he almost won this race. He was leading a majority of this race. Third place, Australia with Rory Chapman. Fourth place, one of our Spaniards. It was either Carlos or David. They finished 4th or 6th. Did not see the numbers, but we do recognize the boards. Fifth 5th place was Shane Scoggins. We can tell you that 7th place came in from Peru, Luis Escardito. 8th place, Dean Lorenz from the United States. And here we go. Costa Rica now coming in, and there's a lot of competitors getting rehydrated. We heard that Shane Faldy was a little bit dehydrated last night, had to take some IV fluid, so we want to make sure, extra sure, that the hydration, important process after a race. Jamie, talk about that.
Yeah, it's just recovery. You know, these guys, it's not over now. You know, they've got to back up tomorrow and do the final of the technical and the team relay. So these guys need to be eating quality food right now. They need to be having their protein shakes. They need to be hydrating and taking all their recovery supplements. So, you know, the first thing they should be doing across the line is getting that into their system, and so they can recover and be ready to go again tomorrow.
So more finishers. We can see Team Costa Rica can't make out a number on him, but we would like to acknowledge Team Costa Rica as they finish up here is either Eric Sombara or Rolando Herrera. Coming in across, again, his bib number turned backside in, so we can't make it across. And more prone paddlers mixing it up with SUP. And like you said yesterday, Jamie, it is great that the ISA is including the prone paddlers. That's the history of this sport. When it graduated from the boys from Maui and Laird, and Dave Kalama decided to take an outrigger paddle to, you know, a tandem surfboard and go out for some cross training, and thus SUP was born.
Yeah, you know, like I guess the modern version of it, you know, was born for sure. So as we see this competitor, look at him, he's just so stoked. He's 185 Bo. So he's just so happy to get across the line. And Claudio Brito from Brazil, he's all smiles, and congratulations to him. As we see another stand-up paddler making his way across the line. And sorry we can't see the bibs of everyone, but now we have a prone paddler, potentially the Venezuelan, yeah. So
that's either Javier Vargas or Gilbert Biez. We're trying to get a bib number on him.
He's all stoked. He's finishing and go across the line, get the cold bottle of water on the head from Fernando, and
there's his flag,
there's
his
a Venezuelan
flag.
So congratulations to them.
Let's go down below and check out Jody Nelson. Jody, who do you have this time?
Well, I've got Team Delgado, who is part of Team Peru, the family story here we've been following. We saw Lisinka mom paddle yesterday, and you know, now the boys had to go out there and grill it out. How was it being on the beach watching them?
I was so nervous and excited when I recognized my son coming in the group, in the elite group. It was awesome. My heart was jumping out of my body. I didn't know what to say, how to express my emotions. It's amazing.
Now, Raul, how's it feel to get beat by your son, your 15-year-old son?
Again, it's like it's the best beat you can get. I want to say thank you to the National Federation, Peru, for all the support. Thank you very much. Now I love her and him.
Now, Excel, tell us a little bit about that race, and you know, was it pretty brutal out there?
We had all kind of conditions. It was very hard. We had a long and nice downwind from one buoy to another buoy, and it was awesome. Then we had an upwind part. It was very hard, and we had to go with all for our country, for our names, and for my family. I love them.
Now, knowing that your mom was out there for 3 hours, do you have a different type of respect for her, knowing now that you went out there and paddled?
Yeah, I think
she's crazy.
She's crazy.
Totally nuts. Yeah, I'm going to send her to rehab.
Congratulations, Team Delgado, representing Peru. Congratulations, you guys. Back to you in the booth.
Thanks a lot, Jody. And these are just one of many stories that is happening down here at the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. The Delgado crew and the family from Peru, and Itzel, the 15-year-old, unofficially in 16th place, showing a respectable time, and he'll be one to contend with in many years to come. And this is a World Championship race, so there's another future name to keep on your scoreboard for the years to come, and all these guys who come down to compete represent their countries. 27 countries in all came down to compete in this year's competition for the 2014 version. We had 17 teams in the first year, 22 teams last year, 27 teams this year, and we see number 173, 175. It looks like possibly 175 from Chile. Alan Vach coming in.
Yeah, and in a respectable time, too, of 2 hours and 13 minutes. You know, he'll finish under 2 hours and 15 minutes. And it's a long time to be out on this lake in these conditions, and props to everyone. Finishing. I heard yesterday. I think we actually didn't have anyone pull out yesterday, from what I heard, and I haven't heard of anyone pulling out today. So that's a massive effort. Purely, with the you see everyone coming across the line with how beat up they are, and look like they're dehydrated, and we see Team Peru on screen.
Yeah, that was ISA Vice President Kirin Alta, one of the ISA Vice Presidents, and he competes in the ISA Masters, and we see a battle within the paddle coming out around the buoy, around the outside for these two paddleboarders, and there will be a race amongst them. We say aloha and a shout out to all those watching live on the webcast and the broadcast, wherever you may be. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. One more day of competition coming up tomorrow. It'll be our final day of competition. We're going to have finals from our Thursday competition, and the technical disciplines of SUP and prone for men and women, and then our relay will grand finale, and then our closing and medaling ceremony. So another race coming into the inside. And
yeah, we're going to have these two guys. This is what's great about paddling. You got the race with the winners. You got the race, in the middle of the pack, and the race at the end. And these two guys have probably been paddling together for over 2 hours now, and they're going to battle it out right to the finish line, as we see, number 175, Alan Voigt from Chile, coming into the finish line. Congratulations, mate. What a great effort from you. And huge big smile on his face as Kelly French gives him a high five.
And he's got a big, long paddle, as the SUP guys are required to carry their paddle across. And he's happy and excited. 2 hours, 15 minutes, 55 seconds. And there's Fernando Aguirre, the ISA president, welcoming each and every competitor across the line with a water shower.
Yeah, that's amazing. That just goes to show how much passion and love he has for, not only surfing but paddling. And it's like you said the other day, Bo, there's not too many other presidents of federations would be sitting here on the beach doing that.
No, but we'd like to say aloha out to Sparky over at Rainbow Sandals. I know Sparky's watching the broadcast here, and he's a fan of SUP paddling. And let's get back to this paddle within here, right here. These two guys are going to be vying for valuable spots here.
Yeah, it looks like potentially that looks like David Joano from Canada there, and also Team Mexico running up here right now. 182, number 182. Yeah,
Oliver
Cruz, and the Canadian paddler just running up the line now. So what a way to finish, just battling all the way to the end. So boys are getting the water on the head. It must feel that must feel amazing right now.
Well, David, at the age of 42 in this prone distance race, he has been surfing for 10 years. He hails out of Canada, surfing. He's into nutrition and a long-distance world-class race. He's got to feel proud about finishing here.
Oh, yeah, and, it's the heat coming from Canada to here must be brutal. So congratulations to all those guys. And as it looks like we just joined in the...
Let's go down beachside with Team USA and Jody Nelson. Take it away, Jody.
Thanks, Bo. Yeah, down here with Slater Trout and Chuck Glenn. And, just give us your guys' perspective on the race. I know it was, an exciting pack up the front, and just walk us through what you guys experienced.
Well, that was definitely one of the top 5 toughest races I've done in my career. I think the heat got to everyone. It was so hot, really strategic. I mean, there was never really a set train longer than 5 minutes. It was always jockeying back and forth. A lot of work in that case. And when we got to the open outside and we got in the bumps, I decided to just take my own line, and the whole group went outside, and I cut way inside, and it was looking great for the first 10 minutes. And then towards the last half, the wind switched, and the outside guys got me, and it was just a battle upwind. But I'm happy with my performance, and looking forward to tomorrow. So, thanks.
And Chuck, talk to us about your guys' strategy. I know a lot of the teams were working together. It sounded like you and Slater were trying to work together a little bit. We saw the French team work together. What did you guys discuss prior to the race?
We decided to work together, and then the biggest part was when we got into the bump was to come out top 5 into the bump. And once we got into the bump, I saw Slater go inside, and I saw the wind switching across the bay. So I actually shot outside of everybody, but I think I went a little too far out. Started reeling him back at the end, but not enough.
Now, you guys have another opportunity tomorrow, a couple opportunities with the relay as well as the technical race. You know, how are you going to prepare for tomorrow?
I'll just recover today, go home, take a nap, make sure you eat a lot, hydrate. Of course, it's so hot. And, you know, I think this kind of fires us up even more for tomorrow. So we're both looking to be strong paddlers in the course tomorrow. And, yeah, just going to try and get a gold for the country. So, yeah.
And Chuck, what's the decision here for the relay? Which one of you guys gets to do that part?
We're going to talk about it tonight and see how we're feeling.
All right, well, congratulations. You guys should be proud of yourselves. Great performance, Team USA. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow. Back to you boys in the booth.
Thanks a lot. Congratulations, Team USA. Slater Trout, 5th place. Chuck Glenn, 8th place. As we see more competitors we saw earlier from Costa Rica come in, Eric Zambaro. And here we go, another competitor still yet to be identified. And we try to get his bib number and announce his name coming off the prone paddleboard. And 190.
As we see the French superstar from stand-up and longboard, Antoine Deporo, making his way in. And big effort from him. I guarantee he hasn't been too many boards like this in his life, so huge effort.
But Antoine Deporo, a multi-gold medal winner in many different disciplines with the ISA, a 2-time longboard champion, and a multi-medal winner in the SUP surfer division. So we see more paddlers. And here we go. Is this Ethan paddling prone with his paddle?
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, my God. Remember halfway through this race, he was in the second pack between 11 and 14. Let's watch first Antoine Depero, the multi-gold medalist from France, coming in across. Not his sport of choice, but he is a team player and holding it strong.
Yeah, great effort, and he'll be stoked that his French teammates went 1-3 today. And as we see the young kid from South Africa, amazing effort. He just, he's too proud to just pull out this race. He decides he's going to paddle in with his half Nash blade and Nash board there and make it to the finish line.
Ethan Koopmans from South Africa, and an unbelievable performance, and there's always stories within the story, and this was one of them as we caught it live with our remote boat on the outside as we were following Ethan in that exciting pack as he was coming in here. He's competing in the technical, he's competing in the distance. He hails from Cape Town. He's 17 years of age, and look how happy. He's got both parts of the paddle.
Yeah, and he actually looked like he had a pretty good prone technique there, so he should have maybe he should have went in the prone. But big effort. He could have just got on the boat and come back, but he didn't, and he's going to run across the line. And what a big, huge effort. He is the only one that did half prone, half SUP. I didn't know there was a race like that.
2 hours, 22 minutes. Our winning time was 1 hour, 48:59 unofficially. So. A 40-minute lag there in the prone position with his broken paddle.
Yeah, he was in the front pack, so basically, he's been out there for an extra 40 minutes in the guys. But look at him; he looks like he just, started the race that good. But we're going to throw down to Jody Nelson with the young man and take it away, Jody.
Well, if this isn't an inspirational story, I don't know what is. But Ethan, you had a little bit of a mishap out there, and. I was very surprised to see you crossing the finish line. Tell us about that.
It's all about racing, If you hit a big wall, I hit a mountain, and I just piled through. I've been training so hard and so long for this race, and I just wanted to finish it. So, yeah.
We saw you break your paddle, and looking for your blade. At what point did you say, you know what? I've trained this hard, and I'm going to go all the way instead of just getting on the rescue boat?
That boat looked really nice and comfortable. So, but as the guy told me to get my paddle, and then I saw it, and then as I held my paddle, then I wanted to go and finish it. So,
Dylan, I was standing next to you while Ethan was finishing and crossing the finish line, and I saw you get chicken skin. Tell me about what was going through your head.
Well, it's just amazing seeing him actually finish and having the guts to actually do it. It's awesome. I can't believe it.
Well, and while we have you here, tell us about that race and how it was for you.
Well, I didn't have a very good race. I hit a rock, and my board actually got stuck on the rock. So I lost so much ground on the front pack, and I had to make that up. And me and Ethan were paddling together, and we were actually working like I take the lead and he takes the lead the whole time. And as I was taking the lead, he broke his paddle, so he just told me to go, and I went for it. So I managed to get them, but I was broken by the time we got to the downwind section.
Well, great race for you. Ethan, is there anybody you wanted to say thank you to or hi to at home? I know a lot of people are watching.
Yeah, I just want to thank my family, my friends who are watching and supporting me back home. They're really a big inspiration, and my teammates as well, Dylan. We were working hard together, but yeah, and my sponsors as well. So thank you, and the organizers for this whole event. It's really cool.
And Dylan, I'll give you the same opportunity.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say thanks to the team for supporting us. I want to say a big thanks to my sponsors from Starboard and all the other guys for supporting me and supplying me the best products I can ask for. And then everyone at home, just thanks so much for all the support and all the Facebook posts, and yeah, it's just motivation.
All right, well, congratulations, Team South Africa. Boys, a lot of heart, a lot of guts and dedication. I'm sure we're going to be seeing more from them in the future. Back to you.
What a story. 17 and 18 years old from Cape Town, Dylan Frick, Ethan Koopmans. Unbelievable. We're going to bring on Chris Parker from SUPRacer.com. Chris, you were on the boat. You saw the paddle break. Take us through that moment of the race for Ethan.
Yeah, thanks, Bo. That was a heartbreaking moment in the race for sure. It's good to see that that Ethan, he went all the way to the end, even though he was prone. That was a great sign. But yeah, when that happened, he was sitting in 11th spot, and with his teammate Dylan Frick, was actually surging to catch up to the lead pack at 10, and they were going to make it. As you saw, Dylan eventually caught up. It's right when Ethan started sprinting to catch that pack, his Nash paddle just gave way, I guess. And yeah, you can see there on the screen, that was devastating. I was right next to him on the boat, and he just had that look on his face like, what do I do?
Well, it was amazing because we were in the production truck and watching this as you were broadcasting it from the boat and from the live feed that we had. And then I came out of the production truck, and there was Team South Africa just coming out of the car. They did not know what happened, and I had to break the news to them. And the coaches were just like, are you kidding me? Where's Dylan, though? Where's Dylan? I mean, they are such team supporters. And look, there's Team France. There's Antoine Deperel coming in from the paddleboard. But take us from the start to the end of the race and how these guys really push the element to full speed from the get-go.
Yeah, it was an absolutely amazing race to watch from the media boat that was following the leaders. Straight off the beginning, Fernando Stala just went out firing to the front of the pack and set a mean pace into the headwind that we had for the first few kilometres. So Fernando Stala, Eric Terrien, Casper Slater, these guys set a pretty good pace that immediately broke the field down into a series of draft trains. The top 14 guys stuck together for the first few kilometres, but when we rounded, as we're going to see the graphic on screen, as we rounded, excuse me, to around buoy number 2 there, just making a left-hand turn into that small island chain, you can see there's an exposed area where the big Lake Nicaragua was just rolling in these bumps. And there was a little mini downwind section of about 500 meters where the field just scattered. And at that point, T2 and Eric made a pretty bold move where they tried to break the rest of the field. And I was just talking to Eric then, and they were basically testing all the other competitors to see if they could stick with them in the downwinder that they knew was coming at the end between 4 and 5. So around buoy number 2, they just did a little test, and they instantly broke the field. So they knew all they had to do was sit in the pack, through the flats, save some energy, and as soon as they hit buoy number 4, they'd be in a really good position.
So was it like yesterday's race? Was the race won between buoys 4 and 5?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the race was very tactical all the way up to buoy number 4, but the race really began at buoy number 4. There was still, after they got out of the islands, about 12 or 13 guys in that lead pack. Some of them had been fighting very bravely just to hang on. Others had been playing it smart. The French had decided that they wanted to be 1-2 at that buoy and then just explode around the corner and take off. Eric was a few spots back, but T2 had that lead spot on the train, so it literally, as soon as he turned the corner, he was gone. The field spread straight away, and only Lincoln Jews could go with him.
They seemed pretty confident, the French, in the interviews about being supremely faster in the bump, and seemed like that tactic paid off for them. They seemed like they had the whole race plan, basically planned out step by step.
Yeah, the French were definitely the strongest team coming into this, and the conditions played into their hands. If it was just a dead, flat lake, it would have been very different, but it was really good to see the different conditions, the headwind, the flat, the downwind. But yet, Titouan, he comes from New Caledonia. They do downwinders literally every day. He's an absolute machine. Even though he's only been doing SUP for about 18 months, he's had about 10 years in the outrigger in the ocean, so he knows how to read the conditions, obviously better than anyone today.
Well, you called him as the dark horse. He said, don't be surprised if he won. Talk about Team USA, their late surge. We saw Slater Chuck to go way inside. We saw Chuck, he went way outside, and Chuck said, I went too far outside. Talk about their attack, because they knew between buoys 4 and 5 that was going to be their surge to the top. But it kind of backfired, didn't it?
Yeah, Team USA were looking strong in the first half of the race. Chuck and Slater were leading at several points. Slater was the guy that reeled in Eric and T2 after they made the early break. I believe that they probably just didn't have enough left in the tank. Slater, he kind of made a bold move to go way inside and try and roll the dice, find a better line, but it didn't pay off. He had to kind of almost tack back out to get to the buoy. Chuck went a little bit too wide. At that point, they were just fighting for the minor medals because T2, Eric, and Lincoln were taking off.
And a surprise for me was Casper, sort of, because it didn't seem like Casper had done too much work at the front, but then also he sort of ran out of steam. What was your take on that?
Yeah, I thought Casper was looking really good the whole race. He was sitting in the 3rd, 4th position the whole time, playing it smart, not doing too much work, but making sure he was in the safe spot near the front. As soon as they round the buoy, though, he was back in about 7th or 8th by then, and he just had nothing in the downwind, which was really surprising. He just got further and further behind, and he came home, I believe, around the 10th spot. I just chatted to him then, and he said he spent too much energy because the draft train kept kind of snaking, and he was constantly trying to change directions ever so slightly just to hold onto the back of the tail. So even though the guys were together, it wasn't a very even draft train. There was a few times where there were 5 guys parallel, or there was a big snake. So that obviously taxed out Casper. I mean, he comes from Denmark where they literally surf in the snow. So to come here for 37 degrees, 100 Fahrenheit, that's pretty exhausting.
Yeah, I just think that the heat's probably taken its toll on a lot of those guys, and it's that sort of heat that wears you from the inside out, and it's a hard one to swallow. You see everyone starting to falter on that last downwind leg, and that's I think that was just pure, starting the onset of dehydration and just the heat. But it was a tough race by all sounds of it, and one that they won't forget for a long time.
Well, you heard Slater Trout in the interview, one of the toughest 5 races he's ever paddled, this one. Looking at the teams really work together. France, 1st and 3rd. Australia, 2nd and 6th. USA, 5th and 8th. Mexico, 7th and 9th. Talked about how these teams worked together and tried to win this race.
Yeah, the teams did actually work together even more than I thought. France, totally, they had an amazing game plan, as I was chatting to Eric about after the race. They controlled pretty much the whole race. They were setting the pace early. They knew where they had to be for the downwinder, and they knew that they could have a realistic chance of 1-2, which almost pulled off. They got the 1st and 3rd. USA worked together very smart in the first half particularly. Chuck and Slater were swapping over the lead so that they didn't get too tired, but they still set a good pace. The Aussies I was really impressed with, especially young Toby. He's not the biggest name in Australian stand-up paddling, but he acquitted himself very well today, coming home in 6th. And Lincoln, an absolutely amazing effort. I didn't think he'd be able to hang on with Eric in that upwind leg, but not only did he hang on, he beat him to the line.
But talk about Lincoln's, he really pushed himself to get there to 2nd place, because he really had to work, because T2 really put on a fast pace between buoys 4 and 5.
Yeah, so as they rounded buoy number 4, T2 took off, and actually for a brief moment, Lincoln was the only guy that was going with him, but he quickly got gapped. Then Eric overtook him as they rounded that 5th and 2nd to last buoy. Lincoln had a lot of ground to make up on Eric, so it was a great job in the headwind to catch up to Eric's tail. And then he eventually overtook, and Eric looked tired hanging on. And as they rounded that last buoy, that was obviously the case, because Lincoln just sprinted away. So that was definitely one of the most impressive performances of the day from young Lincoln.
Yeah, as we see, I think it looks like he's the Guatemalan paddler right now, I think, Pedro Viraga, and big effort, like we see. when Slater Trout said it's one of the top 5 hardest races, and he's coming back in this. David's coming in 2 hours and 34 minutes right now. So huge effort, and all these paddlers got something to be proud of just finishing this race.
Yeah, absolutely. It's we were out there on the boat sweating up a storm, and all I was doing was texting you guys on the phone. So I can only imagine what the guys that were paddling for their lives were feeling. It was really hot out there. As we got through the jungle, it was pretty humid too.
Well, we're going to go down and check out Jody Nelson. Jody, who do you have this time?
Thanks, Bo. Yeah, down here with David Gianu from Team Canada. And David, you competed in the prone race today, and I know it's been a long trek to get here. Can you kind of walk us, for people that don't know your story, tell us a little bit about it?
Oh gosh, my story. Where do I begin? This is my second World Championships with the ISA, and I'm just so stoked to be here and just even compete and finish the race. With all these amazing people. 4 years ago I was run down by a car walking across the street and shattered bones from head to toe, and wasn't really quite sure about what I was going to do with my future. And I'm just so stoked to be able to look back of how far I've come as opposed to how far I need to go, and I'm just delighted, even to race out there and have Mexico beside me. I've been in Mexico for the last 2 months, just catching bumps and staying warm and just nurturing my body. And as I say, like these, to race with Shane from Mexico, it was just awesome. We had good talks out there, and as I say, to finish is just, it's just something else I can check off my list, right? And I really appreciate ISA and everybody, my Sherry and Trinity for sticking by me through all those squirrely times, and it's just amazing, Jody. Like really, just so much gratitude.
You guys have have had a bit of a victory this year and a bit of unfortune with Diane Winslow having to pull out early, getting her passport.
Diane's amazing too. Yeah, like it was just like, why did this stuff happen? But I know she's there right now, watching and rooting for us, and love to Diane. Like really, it's just awesome, and Canada's awesome. Everyone's just so cool.
And your plans for tomorrow? We've got the technical races coming up, and are you guys able to have a relay race?
No, we can't have the relay. Just the rules won't allow us to do that. But Linda's in the technical, and Cam's in the technical, and myself. So we're just gonna stick together and have a lot of fun, right?
All right. Well, Team Canada making some noise. I know she's really surprising a lot of people. She's very strong, and Team Canada, what a great story there. Back to you, boys.
Thanks a lot, and love the Led Zeppelin tattoo and with a couple of Canadian flags covering that up. But what a story from the 42-year-old from Vancouver Island, David there, coming from a tragic, horrific accident and competing at the ISA World Championships.
Yeah, I can't imagine coming back from that, but all props to David for getting his body back on track, and sounds like he's been in the right place if he's been in Mexico the last few months getting ready for the heat here.
But, Jamie, talk about the sport of prone paddleboarding and SUP, how it is so healthy, so user-friendly, and anybody can get into the sport.
Yeah, it's just, I've been lucky enough that my parents put me into the paddling at a young age, and it's just, it's just it's good for the mind, body, and soul, and such good people like we've been interviewing all week, and the ISA's done a great job of bringing all the paddling community together, and you couldn't do you could do a great thing by getting your kids into paddling at an early age, and it's a great community. Everyone's very supportive of each other, and I urge everyone to the parents out there get their kids into it and give it a try.
Jimmy comes from the ocean background. We're going to bring back in Dan Gravier. Dan, you come from the kayaking and whitewater and river background. Talk about how healthy SUP paddling in the rivers and the lakes is for everybody to get into.
Oh, absolutely, Bo. Same benefits. It's a low impact sport. It's a fairly low cost of entry as well. So that makes it a great thing. Everyone's got a body of water close to where they live. Sometimes even closer than the nearest mountain biking or surfing or in a lot of cases, they're near a ski hill. So this has become the new staycation sport where you can stay close to home. You can get out, you can paddle with the whole family. So they're making now kids boards, kids paddles, smaller equipment for more petite paddlers. And, you know, dad can go out and get a great workout. Mom can go out and have fun paddling with her girlfriends and chit-chatting and catching a nice tan in her bikini. And the kids can go out and use it as an unbelievable swimming platform and just a inflatable, maybe play platform. And that's where we've actually seen some of the new construction, the inflatable boards and stuff like that really coming into play. Certainly for what I love to do, which is the river, it's a rocky environment. So you would normally cause a lot of damage to the composite boards. So now we're starting to utilize those inflatable boards quite a bit, and it turns out they're actually pretty quick on the river, so they hold their own against their composite counterparts, and they come in at about just maybe 5 to 10% heavier than a composite board in carbon fiber manufacturing. So the price to weight ratio is great. It's low entry for getting into it. It's a great sport for the whole family, and certainly a low impact one.
And talk about the growth. We've seen the growth of teams here in 2012. We had 17 teams compete, 22 last year, 27 this year. You had an interesting stat of the growth of the sport, and we're seeing the growth of the sport here of SUP here at the ISA.
Yeah, and I think we have about a 30 to 40% growth here in the team participation. So that's pacing with the whole sport around the world is growing really quick. We're seeing a lot of new manufacturers, you know, coming to different shops with their wares, and we see a lot of the old guard out there. A lot of them coming from windsurf background. So it's great to see.
We're going to take it down to the beach side with the ISA president, Fernando Aguele.
Okay, and they say you might be the last, but you're certainly not the least. And here we are with Pedro Pablo. He's not just a SUP racer, but he's also the president of the Guatemalan Surfing Federation. He's been working for the sport. He surfs, he teaches, he SUPs, he races, he never gives up. And then when you see him at 10 p.m., he has as much energy as now. He arrived and he was playing game with the paddle. So are you happy to be here?
I'm stoked, Fernando. It's one of my first. This is my first event, thanks to you guys, because I always wanted to see and come and lead this event, and it's one of the best ever I've been in my whole life. The SUP World Context. So it's everything thanks to you, and the whole supports my government with the ASOSURF and CDG and Olympic Committee of Guatemala, where they're trusting right now in the paddle sport, and they sent me here to bring my small delegation and try to develop the sport in my country.
So basically, you got behind you and the association, the government, the Olympic Committee. So it's, you know, you got a good job and you're happy. And this is the other Guatemala, the pro padre. ¿Cómo está? ¿Bien?
Bien, un poco cansado, pero bien, gracias a Dios. Terminé lo cumplido, la meta, era terminar.
Y hasta el presidente.
Sí, le machuqué la cola, pero ahí.
I was chasing him, but I couldn't get him. So hopefully one day we'll go to Guatemala.
Yeah.
With the SUP World Championship. I know you guys have some really nice places.
Yeah, it will be an honor to host a paddle event, because I mean, we just came here and I asked so many questions to everybody. I did like maybe 2,000 questions to all the countries, and everybody helped me. And the ISAG staff and the athletes, you know, coaches, so everybody helped me. Everybody borrows boards, and so I want to thank all of them. And I say sorry for that many questions. I promise it won't happen again. So the least we can do as a country, as Guatemala, just because we just came here to absorb and share this energy, we want to offer you guys a paddle event in Guatemala. So get ready, because we're going to do it on the ruins of Tikal.
There you go. So gracias, Guatemala, and gracias, Nicaragua. Back to you guys.
Unbelievable. And that is Jeff Lima coming in for the paddleboard for Guatemala, and Guatemala being very well represented by Pedro Villarga. And there he is, you know, an IOC member, a leader in the ocean sports world there, and Fernando trying to see if he can get an event over there too.
Sign me up. I'm in. I'll go to Guatemala. I like to paddle in different countries. He's actually already invited me over there, so it's that's the great thing about the ISA and bringing everyone together, is that you know, you get all these invites and all these contacts from all around the world. And now, would that be Mike Young?
That could be Mike Young on the outside, the 62-year-old representing Ireland, currently living in Panama. And there's Team Guatemala and their flag and their team and their support. And they're going to be giving a cheer here, and so proud. And just look at the enthusiasm of these athletes. It's like they won the race.
It's awesome. They're more excited than the guys that won the race. I'm telling you, it's like they have more energy, and it's just like I said. With paddleboarding, it's nearly more the people at the end of the race, the guys that have finished. That it's more of a challenge for them. And I'm pretty sure this is Mike Young. He's in his 60s. He's from Ireland, and like everyone's going to give him the biggest cheer of the day. I guarantee you he's going to get the biggest cheer of the day when he comes across the line.
Mike Young not only competing in the long distance in the prone men, competing in the SUP technical race just 2 days ago, and also the beginning of the contest in the SUP surfing. He's 62 years old, and he lives in Colorado Springs, but splits his time back in Ireland and back into Panama. He's been in the ocean nearly 50 years of his life. And not only is he a competitor at this event, but he's a cheerleader. He was cheering on Barbados when Kevin Thomas was in the water, because another one-man team like himself. So a great supporter. I had a chance to talk with him. I'm sure you did too, Jamie, and just had that aloha spirit.
Oh, he was super psyched. He's probably done more events than any single male here. He's done, like you said, he's done the surfing, he's done the technical, he's done the long distance, and he's all here alone. No Team Ireland apart from him, and he's wow, what an effort. I mean, just look at him there. His head's down. He looks battered and bruised right now, but he's not going to give up. And as we can hear the announcers in the background. Getting ready for him to come in. He's just going to make one right-hand turn, and he's been going for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So, he's going to finish just under 3 hours.
Let's talk about the future of the ISA and SUP and paddleboarding. Of course, next year will be 2015. The location and site has not been chosen, but definitely we'll have over 30 teams represented. We have 27 this year. What do you see next year? Do you see some of the big players coming and competing for a world title with the ISA next year?
Oh, I think so, and I hope so. I think that, I get a little disappointed when I don't see some of the bigger names, and like Team Hawaii not here. It's because I feel that when the Olympics, when the Olympics, and I do believe that stand up will be in the Olympics. I think. When it comes and these young kids, they're the ones that are going to benefit from this, and for them not to be here supporting it, it makes me a little disappointed. So, if anyone's listening out there from Hawaii and all those other countries, I think that you guys really need to get here and support this, and because it's only going to be benefiting you guys. Hawaii has the biggest talent pool, like say from Tahiti. I mean, there's so many kids out there. It's so many young kids that are at the forefront of this sport. And to not have them here, I think is it's a big disappointment.
And talk about the move to the lake from the ocean for the first 2 years. And a majority of our competitions in the SUP world are on oceans. And I think Fernando Aguirre has hit a home run. An A+ should go to him. A gold medal should go to him for taking it to Nicaragua. But not only on the West Coast, on the Pacific coast at La Boquita, but here at Lake Nicaragua.
Oh, it's been a huge success. The technical race was a success yesterday. They're going to finish that tomorrow. The surfing, there were some great waves. There's some better waves around, but they were very contestable. I think this race here, this race course, the distance race was amazing. They had everything from, headwind, downwind, some tailwind, and just, and the course right through all those islands and through Monkey Island, and then the way that it finished, it's just they've hit a home run, as you said, and hats off to the ISA, and everyone that's here will attest that what a great event it's been. And, hey, we're going to finish it off with a bang tomorrow. We got, the technical race to finish off with and the team race, and we're going to crown a team champion.
And here, looking at your screen, looked like Mike Young might have gone around that buoy the opposite direction, so he's going to correct himself there. It would be good for his team and some points in the finish. You want to make sure you do the the course correctly. Be disappointing to paddle that far and come in for a disqualification because you did the course wrong. But Mike Young coming in towards the finish here, showing a great effort for the 62-year-old.
But Dan, give me your opinion about coming to the lake and your background in this field for the ISA. A home run in your book too?
Oh, absolutely. I think it just shows a commitment of the ISA to the racing portion of our sport. Certainly, like we talked about the other day, plugging the sport into the existing facilities at any Summer Olympic venue would certainly be the path of least resistance, and I believe it should put it there with any other sport to be considered in future Olympic Games. And like we talked about the comparison for the Winter Olympics to the Summer Olympics. The Summer Olympics, I feel, is still sparing some of the new sports that we've seen being integrated into the Winter Olympics. So I think it would be a great move. I think it would be a smart move. And I think it would be something to bring up the whole level of the Summer Olympics as a whole and really start appealing more to a younger generation out there.
Well, we saw yesterday's winner from Canada, a flat water Lake River champion in Lena from Canada, and she proved to be a world champion here in the Lake Nicaragua.
Yeah, and you know, a lot of the athletes that we're getting in the sport right now that are standouts, they come from a surfing background. I think that the future champions, you may be surprised, they could come from a canoe and kayak background. They know the Olympic venues. They know how to train on an Olympic level. So it's something that I feel that maybe even the paddlers out there, the K1, K2, and the C1s and the C2s and the flatwater may have an edge on us. But again, we need full participation from all the countries. We're still lacking that of Russia and some of the Eastern European countries, as well as some of the Asian countries, which we haven't seen here that are usually so dominant in the Olympic Games.
Great dissertation there, and it looks like Mike Young coming in very strong here, and 62-year-old representing Ireland, as we told you earlier, competing in the SUP surfing, the SUP technical, and now the prone long distance. And what a beautiful person here as he's finishing up unofficial time, 2 hours, 51 minutes, 5 seconds and counting at this time, Jamie, and brings a smile to my face watching this man compete.
Yeah, wow, what an effort. As you see everyone down there on the beach, give him a huge big cheer, and a well-deserved cheer. Wow, what an effort. What a stud. 62 years young, and you know, I think he spends a lot of time in Panama, so you know, probably a good thing he's used to the heat here, and actually not coming from Ireland straight away, but big props to Mike Young. That's awesome. He's
he's still running.
Yeah. Yeah. He's all stoked. Look at him. He's like, don't give me the props, but he deserves it. What a great effort.
You see, he's got Greg No ocean wear. You know, he's living the life. You know, living the dream, the surfer's dream. You know, and look at all these guys. The head of Guatemala. I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. Giving them a Wayne's World bow. There's Mike Young from Ireland and Fernando Aguirre and everybody congratulating him. Kissing his feet. Oh, no, not kissing his feet. Just taking his, I thought he was going down the bow to kiss his feet.
Anyway, let me looks like Fernando's
It's
down
okay.
there.
You got everybody emotional.
Trying to grab an interview, but...
Thank you. That's Mike Young. Only 62 years of age and made it to the final. Amazing. He's surfing any division other than the, of course, relay. Mike Young.
Thanks, Fernando. But... yeah, he obviously can't do the relay, although he probably...
We'll chase him. We're good paparazzis. We'll chase him.
¿Listo? Ok, gracias. Yeah, yo necesito la sombra.
Okay, sombra. Okay, well, Mike is going to rest. Listen, after 18 kilometers, paddling under 35 degrees Celsius temperature, I'll be resting. I'm trying to rest, and I've been standing here for 4 hours. I imagine Mike. So this is what you get at the ISA events. This is the ISA World SUP and Paddleboard World Championship here in Lake Nicaragua, an amazing place, and an amazing race, and we made history. The first time the ISA World Championship SUP racing in a lake has been amazing. This is not over. Tomorrow we'll do the finals of all the technical events, the relay, and the wonderful medal ceremony. Stay with us. Thank you.
Thank you, Fernando, and great to see the passion from the ISA president. He's he definitely has an abundance of energy, and yeah, it's great to have him on board. And as we see, nice little shot there in the background with all the boats.
But you know, going back to that, Jamie, Fernando Aguirre, the president of the ISA since 1994, and you talked about the passion. He has the drive and the will to take this to the next level. And what Fernando is trying to do, and he told me this personally, I'm trying to fulfill Duke Kahanamoku's dream, because when Duke won his first medal in Europe, 1912, 1914, I can't remember the year exactly, and when the king, that current country, was medaling him, the king was on the podium and the athlete was on the ground. Now that has been switched. But when the medal was given around his neck, Duke said, "This is not the best sport I'm good at. I'm better at surfing." And the king goes, "What is surfing?" So that's where Fernando wants to take ocean sports, not just surfing, not just SUP racing, but all the disciplines, longboarding, skimboarding, boogie boarding, and he's going to do that. Let's take a look at the heat recap of today's race of the prone and the SUP. Is going to be very exciting, and thank Jody Nelson here with her drone up above, giving us a bird's eye view of the finish line here. Jamie?
Yeah, and we head to a Google map of the start there, and as we see the start of the male, stand-up distance race, and Slater Trout making a fast pace there. We have Eric Terrain, Fernando Stala on the left. We see Casper there, and everyone just sort of battling there just to find some clear water without falling in. A fall there would be horrendous, as we see the prone distance race, and Reese Burrows off the start went like a madman, and he was just as fast as he could off the start, trying to get himself into some clear water. So that paid dividends for him, as he, him and Sam from New Zealand ended up, battling all the way to the end. After 18 kilometres, it came down to a sprint finish. So good to see the Anzacs battling it out as always. And here's the headwind start of the race with Fernando Stala setting a blistering pace, and the Viking Casper Steinfarth in second place. As we see that huge big pack of about 13 paddlers, and looks like that potentially could be Bellard just off the back of the pack there. But one big group and a lot of tactics with the countries. As we see the aid station, the water station in the middle, that looked like it was the second pack. Dylan Frick and young Ethan before he snapped his paddle right about here. It looks like he's about to snap his blade, and that was just such bad luck for the young South African. He was about to join the lead pack there, and here we show him just unlucky. It's hard to see someone go out with technical and equipment malfunction. You never want to see that, and so this was the move here. We saw T2 and Eric move to the front here. They wanted to be in front for this downwind leg, and T2 took off, and the only guy that could go with him was Australia's Lincoln Jews. And as we see this final headwind grind up to the finish, and T2 got to the front, never looked back, and it was a battle for second, third, and the copper medal between Lincoln Jews from Australia, Eric Terran from France, and the Brazilian Vinny Martins. So as we see Tituan make his way into the finish line here with a convincing victory, and he's already on the map, but he definitely solidified his place as a paddler to beat in any conditions here today.
Absolutely, and a great recap there as we look at some of the prone paddlers here on screen. But you got to wonder, with the lead pack going out, Eric Thierien and Fernando really coming out hard there at the beginning of the paddle, as well as Casper. Did that cost them the win today? They went out really hard. They set the pace. They pulled the field, and ended up finishing in the back of the pack.
As we look at this sprint finish for the gold medal, and Reese Burrows to the left, and Sam from New Zealand on the right. Reese just throwing his hat away, just out sprinting him to the finish line, and he'll be one happy camper, and that's his first ISA World Championships, and the kid from Noosa doing all Noosa proud, as we see Ethan from South Africa running across the line. He finished with his paddle in hand and paddled the rest of probably the 5 or 6 kilometres to the finish line, prone paddling with his paddle in one hand all the way to the finish boat.
This has been an amazing day, and we still have one more day. So the prone men winner was Reese Burrows from Australia, our men's winner in the SUP long distance. Congratulations goes out to Team France as they won with Titian Puyol. Well, one more day of competition. We have the technical and prone finals for both men and women, and our relay and our gold medals. For Chris Parker, for Dan Gravier, for world champion Jamie Mitchell, my name is Bo Hodge. Thank you for tuning in at Lake Nicaragua. You're watching the 2014 ISA World SUP and Paddleboard Championships. We'll see you tomorrow. Hold on.
Bitch. Excuse me, I got toast and cow with it.